Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Rinnegan Naruto shows his true self during the Chunin exams part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Naruto had once again failed to become a genin. He felt so down that when Mizuki told him about a makeup test he fell for it hook, line and sinker. The test was to steal the forbidden scroll and learn a jutsu from it. But it turned out that it was all a lie for Mizuki to get his hands on the scroll and frame Naruto for it. But Iruka-sensei had found him first. Which brings us to the present. Iruka, I said I would take care of you later. But I'm changing my mind. Now hurry up and die, yelled Mizuki as he prepared to throw a Fuma shuriken at Iruka. Naruto, seeing this from the trees, was frozen in fear. Iruka-sensei was going to die, and it was all his fault. He had to do something, but what? He wasn't even a genin and Mizuki was a chunin. There was no way he would have the power to stop him. Naruto watched helplessly as Mizuki threw the shuriken at Iruka. It was at that moment when something happened that would alter the course of destiny forever. Suddenly the shuriken froze in mid-flight. Not just the shuriken, but everything seemed frozen: Iruka, Mizuki, the trees, even the wind. This left Naruto wondering just what in the hell was going on. That was when he heard it, or more precise, heard him. Do you wish to save your sensei? This caused Naruto to just about jump out of his skin. Who's there? Show yourself. The voice spoke again. It's okay. I mean you no harm, Naruto Uzumaki. Then where are you? Asked Naruto. I am right behind you, said the voice. Naruto quickly turned around. What he saw shocked him. It was an old man who stood at about 5.10, with pale red spiky hair. He had eyes of light purple with 4 rings circling his pupil, and a red tattoo that gave him the appearance of a third eye on his forehead. But the strangest thing about this man was the horns coming out of the top of his forehead. Who are you? Naruto asked, and why has everything suddenly stopped? To answer your questions in order. I am your ancestor, Hagoromo Otsutsuki. But I'm also known as the Sage of the Six Paths. And time has stopped so I can talk to you, said the man now known as the Six Paths Sage. What do you want with me, old man? Asked Naruto. I came to ask you, do you wish to save your sensei? Repeated the old man. Of course I want to save Iruka-sensei, but how can I? Asked Naruto, looking up at the old man. Do you see my eyes, Naruto? Naruto nodded. They are called the Rinnegan. Almost all bloodline come from these eyes. At this, Naruto's eyes got big as pancakes. You see, Naruto, I was the one who invented ninjutsu. I was the first ninja. I am willing to give you my power if you in return promise me something. What do I have to promise you, old man? Asked Naruto doubtfully. He had already been made a fool of once today. He wasn't going to do it again. Nothing too bad, I assure you. I just want your word of honor, that you will use this gift and bring peace to the world. And that you will always stay true in your heart, said the old sage with a smile on his face. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Is that all? Naruto thought. You have my word, old man. If there is a way to bring peace to this world, I will find it. And I will always be true to myself no matter what, believe it. At this the sage burst out laughing. After a minuet he said, okay, now there are a few things you should know. First, when time starts up again you will not be in full control of yourself. Your eyes will act on their own accord to save your sensei. Secondly, after you go home tonight, your eyes will teleport you to my temple, where you will train in the use of your eyes. While you are there, time out here will stop. Kind of like it is now. Are you ready, Naruto? Yes, said Naruto. Alright, close your eyes, Naruto. Naruto did as he told and closed his eyes. Back to the present. Now hurry up and die, yelled Mizuki as he prepared to throw a Fuma shuriken at Iruka. At that moment a few things happened all at once. The first was that Naruto jumped in front of Iruka, facing Mizuki. The second was that 2 shadow clones grabbed Mizuki from behind, keeping him in place. The third and final thing was Naruto saying 2 words. Shinra Tensei. And now the continuation. The shuriken that was heading to end Iruka's life was now on a crash course with Mizuki's neck. Mizuki's last thought was how did dash before his head was no longer attached. Meanwhile, Iruka was too stunned to say anything. He had never seen a jutsu like that. And to top it all off, Naruto had also used an A-rank clone jutsu. It was after that last thought that Naruto fell to his knees, unknowingly canceling out the Rinnegan. Naruto, are you okay? Asked Iruka, worried. What happened, sensei? Asked Naruto, weakly. Iruka was worried. Did Naruto suppress the memory? You don't remember Naruto? Asked Iruka softly, putting his hand on Naruto's shoulder to try and comfort him. The last thing I remember is Mizuki throwing that shuriken at you, lied Naruto. He didn't think it would be a good idea to say the last thing he remembered was speaking to his dead ancestor. At that moment, Naruto happened to look up and see the headless corpse of Mizuki. Was I the one who killed Mizuki? Asked Naruto sickly. Iruka didn't know how to respond to that. Taking his sensei's silence as confirmation, Naruto did what came natural. He threw up. After spilling all the ramen he had that day, Naruto looked at his sensei. I didn't mean to, sensei. You have to believe me, said Naruto. I believe you, Naruto. But you need to understand you did nothing wrong. Mizuki was going to kill both of us. You took his life to save mine, Naruto. It's sad that you have to face your first kill at such a young age. But that is the life as a ninja. We are sometimes called to take life in order to defend life. I tell you what, Naruto, close your eyes. I got a surprise for you. Naruto, trusting his sensei, perhaps more than he ever trusted anyone, did as he was told. Iruka took his forehead protector from his head and tied it around Naruto's head. In shock, Naruto's eyes flew open. Congratulations, Naruto, you pass. Naruto was so filled with emotions that he forgot about Iruka's injuries and threw his arms around him in a hug/tackle. OW, cried Iruka. Sensei, you're injured, came Naruto's intelligent reply. Break. Naruto was looking at his new eyes in the bathroom mirror. Man, was this trippy. With the Rinnegan active, he could see things in amazing detail. Sighing, he deactivated his Rinnegan one last time and went to his room to sit on his bed. He thought about his meeting with the Hokage. The old man had not been happy that he took the scroll. Plus, to make matters worse, he classified the sexy jutsu as a kenjutsu. Still though, he did mark tonight as Naruto's first B-rank mission with pay. Luckily no one really saw him use his Rinnegan. So they thought it was the Ninetales acting up because of all the stress. And Naruto was not about to correct them. He'd like to keep the Rinnegan a secret for as long as possible. He was about to lay down when suddenly it felt like he was being pulled into something. The air around him started to distort, like water running down a drain. The next thing Naruto knew, he was in a long dark hallway. At the end of the hallway was a door. It was the only door Naruto could see, so he started walking toward it. Upon opening the door, all Naruto could see was bright white light. Welcome to my temple, Naruto. Or more specific, welcome to the Chamber of Time and Spirit, came the voice of Naruto's ancestor, the Sage of the Six Paths. Old man, said Naruto, his eyes adjusting to the light. Naruto looked around. What he saw made his jaw hit the floor. He was in what appeared to be a balcony of some type of house. Around the house, for as far as the eye could see, was white light. What is this place? Asked Naruto. This is where you are going to train, Naruto. While you are in this room, time has stopped moving on the outside world. For the next year you are going to train, said the old man. Are you going to be the one to train me? Asked Naruto. Not quite. You see, Naruto, this room acts as a gateway between this world and the next. So spirits such as myself can manifest as physical here. That being the case, you are going to have multiple senseis. Tobirama Senju, Izuna Uchiha, and Shursui Uchiha. Just to name a few. But the two that are going to train you the most will be here in a minute. And you better thank me, as I had to make a deal with the Shinigami to get one of them here. It was at that point that Naruto heard something that he never thought he would ever hear come from behind him. Naruto, my son! Hello, son! Turning to face the newcomers, Naruto saw a man and a woman. The woman had long red hair, fair skin, and purple eyes. While Naruto had never seen her before, he had to say, she was very beautiful. The man with her, however, Naruto would have recognized instantly, even if he had been a less than model student. With his spiky blonde hair and blue eyes, but what made Naruto recognize him was his long white haori with flames decorating the bottom. He was Minato Namikaze, Konoha's yellow flash, and the fourth Hokage. And Naruto's hero, the man he wanted to surpass the most. And he just called Naruto his son. Needless to say, Naruto didn't know how to react to that. Did he just call me his son? Thought Naruto. But how can that be? Surely if I was the son of a Hokage, the village wouldn't have always treated me like a leper. Did old man Hokage know? If so, then why did he lie to me? Why did he tell me he didn't know who my parents were? And who is the lady with him? Could she be my dash? It was at that point that the sage interrupted his thoughts. Ah, and here they are now. Naruto, allow me to introduce you to Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze. Your mother and father. Mother? She's my mother? Thought Naruto. Before he even knew what he was doing, Naruto was running right for her. Moem? Cried Naruto with tears of joy and sadness in his eyes. Kushina too had tears in her eyes as she took her son in her arms the first time in 12 years. Since that horrible night. Oh Naruto, I've missed you so much. Look at how much you've grown. My son, my beautiful son! Cried Kushina as she hugged her son. Meanwhile, Minato was watching this with a huge smile on his face, overjoyed to see his wife and son reunited at last. But inside he was also afraid. Would his son hate him? Minato wouldn't blame him if he did. Before he had time to contemplate this much further, he felt two small arms wrap around him. Dad! Cried Naruto. At that one word from Naruto, Minato Namikaze, the feared Yellow Flash, one of the strongest shinobi of his time, broke down. He never thought he would get to hear his son call him that. Grabbing his son up in a hug, Minato cried, unashamed of the tears in his eyes. Kushina soon joined them in the hug. The family that had been so tragically torn apart 12 years before were together at last. While this was going on, the sage of the Six Paths was smiling. This more than the training was why he was willing to make a deal with the Shinigami. Speaking of the deal he made, the sage looked at the blade in his hand. It was a black ninjato. For the most part it was quite unassuming. But aren't the most dangerous things often unassuming? He just hoped Naruto would go along with this deal. Naruto couldn't believe it. His mom and dad were here. Not only that, but the fourth Hokage was his dad. But Hawata, babbled Naruto incoherently. You must have so many questions, huh, Naruto? Said Minato understandingly. I guess it's time to tell him everything, huh, Minato? Asked Kushina. And so they did. They told him everything that happened on the night he was born. From the man in the mask to Minato sealing the nine tails in his son, and why he felt that he should. Naruto sat perfectly still for perhaps the first time in his life. After hearing his parents' story, he could understand why they did what they did. He felt himself letting go of the small amount of resentment that he had felt since finding out about the nine tails. Finally, after what felt like hours, but was only moments, Naruto spoke. Thank you for telling me the truth, Mom, Dad. I think I can understand your reasons and I forgive you. I know now you did what you had to do to save both me and the village. But I have to tell you, I will never forgive the man in the mask, said Naruto with a look in his eyes that had no place on a 12 about to be 13-year-old. It was a look that promised pain to the one who had cost him so much. Seeing this look, Minato spoke. I can't ask you to forgive him, Naruto. Not when I myself am incapable of doing so. But please don't become so consumed with revenge that it becomes your only reason for living, pleaded Minato. Naruto looked at his father and smiled softly. Don't worry, Dad, it's not revenge I'm after, it's justice. That man has a lot of innocent blood on his hands, and I will see to it that he answers for his crimes, said Naruto with conviction in his voice. Alright, Naruto, I guess that's all we can ask for, said Minato. The sage was loath to interrupt, but they had a lot to do, and only a year to do it in. Kushina, why don't you go fix your son a meal? Me, Minato, and Naruto have something to do, then they will join you, said the sage. Kushina looked at him for a second, then agreed. She really didn't want to be away from her son right now, but knew whatever this was, it must be important. Hugging Naruto and giving Minato a kiss, she made her way into the house to cook a meal for her family. A thought that put a smile back on her face. Minato and Naruto faced the sage, wondering what it was they had to do. What's the deal, old man? Asked Naruto in his normal brash manner. I must admit I am most curious too, honorable sage, answered Minato with more respect than that of his son. The sage sighed. Well, as I said, I was forced to make a deal with the Shinigami for him to release you, Minato. Naruto, do you see this ninjato? Asked the sage. Naruto looked at the sword and nodded. What's so special about it, old man? Asked Naruto. Its name is Zanpakuto, or Soul Cutter. Its main ability is it can cut the soul of a person without harming the flesh. That's one of its abilities. We'll talk about the others later. But anyone killed with this sword will be sealed into the Shinigami, the same as your dad was. That's the deal. You use this sword to kill the evil of this world and send them to the Shinigami, said the sage. Naruto gave it some thought. While he did not like the thought of taking lives, he knew it was a part of being a shinobi. And on the other hand, the sage did say the evil of the world, so he wouldn't be killing any innocents. Okay, old man, I'll do it as long as they are evil. I'll do it, said Naruto. The sage sighed in relief. If he had refused, the sage would have been the one in the Shinigami's belly. Okay, on to the next and last matter of the day. It's time we three visit an old friend of mine. Minato, take my hand, and Naruto, lift up your shirt, said the old sage. Naruto wasn't sure about the lift up the shirt part but did as he was told. That old man had better not be a pervert, thought Naruto with a frown. While holding on to Minato with one, the sage put his other on Naruto's seal. Naruto and Minato awoke in a sewer-like room. Where are we? Asked Naruto. Before the sage could answer, they heard a loud roar. Namikaze! Come here so I can kill you! Minato's sweat dropped and mumbled, "Oh great, just who I wanted to see." Naruto meanwhile had gone white. Kyuubi, thought Naruto. All the while the Kyuubi was still yelling. I'll eat you alive, shit you out, and light you on fire. How dare you seal me into this runt? I'll dash, and that was as far as he got before he was cut off by a voice he had not heard since he was a kid. Kurama! Hollered the sage. The Kyuubi, or Kurama as we now know him, was speechless. It couldn't be, the old man was dead. But it was him. Kurama would know that voice anywhere. After all, the sage was the closest thing to a father any of the 9 had. Old man, how? Stuttered the Kyuubi. It's okay, Kurama, I'm really here, for a short time at least, answered the sage. But how? Asked Kurama. The powers that be thought your host could use some help, said the sage wisely. Listen, Kurama, I don't have much time. I need you to help this boy. Do you remember the last words I spoke to you? Kurama nodded. I was referring to Naruto. It is very important that you help him, and in return you will get back what was taken from you when you were sealed in him, said the sage. You mean? Yes, you will have your Yin chakra returned to you, said the sage. Do you really believe he is the one? Asked Kurama. Yes, I do, said the sage confidently. Kurama stared at Naruto with an intense look in his eyes. Most normal men would have run from that look. But Naruto was never normal. He returned Kyuubi's look with one of his own. This made Kurama laugh. Ha ha! Well, he has guts, I'll give him that. Alright, I'll do as you ask, old man. Come here, runt. Naruto, swallowing his fear, walked to the sealed doors. Kurama stuck his fist out. Naruto bumped his fist with Kurama's. Alright, kid, form this point on we're partners, said Kurama. Partners, agreed Naruto with a smile. Good. Now give me back my chakra, yelled Kurama. The sage and Minato face palmed. Kurama would never change. Okay, Minato, I need to see your seal, said the sage. Minato did as he was told and showed the old man his seal. The sage put his hand on it, and the seal started to vanish. Suddenly Minato was encased in red chakra that jumped from him to Kurama. After it was complete, Naruto was stunned. If he had thought Kyuubi was big before, he was the size of the Hokage monument now. Damn, that felt good, said Kurama with a fox grin. Speak for yourself, answered Minato on his knees and panting. Well, we better get back before Kushina get upset, said the sage, causing Minato to go white in the face. Having been on the receiving end of the Uzumaki temper more than once. Seeing the look on Minato's face, Kurama burst out laughing. The last thing the father, son, and sage heard was, "Wahahahaha. Sucks to be you." It has been a month since the meeting with Kurama. It has also been both the happiest and the most exhausting month of Naruto's young life. It was happy, because for the first time in his life he got to experience some of what kids with parents got to experience. On the downside of that, he finally understood what Kiba and Shikamaru meant when they said mothers were scary. He found that out firsthand, the first morning of training. He had just gotten dressed and was heading for the door to start his day, when his mother stopped him. She had made breakfast for him and his dad. Sadly, as is often the case with Naruto, his mouth had jumped ahead of his brain. Flashback. Naruto, breakfast is ready. Kushina with a smile. His dad was already at the table drinking a cup of coffee. While Naruto would love to eat some more of his mom's cooking. After all, the supper she had made the night before was delicious. But Naruto wanted to get his training started. After all, the sooner he got to training, the sooner he could become Hokage. No thanks, Mom, I'll just grab some toast, said Naruto dismissively. Not really trying to be rude, just in a hurry to train. Apparently his mom did not cook for him not to eat. For right as he was turning around to leave, he felt a massive bloodlust that would have made Kurama run with all 9 tails tucked between his legs. Frozen in his tracks, Naruto heard the deceptively sweet voice of his mom. You wouldn't let all this food I made go to waste, would you, Naruto-kun? Said Kushina, in a falsely sweet voice. Turning around slowly, what Naruto saw would forever be tattooed on his brain. His mom's hair was waving behind her, like 9 tails of death, and the look in her eyes promised pain to whoever had upset her. Naruto could have sworn he saw the shadow of the Shinigami behind her. And of course his dad was nowhere to be found. Minato was not called the smartest shinobi of his time for nothing. Oh, of CC course, and not mom. I am suddenly starving, stuttered Naruto quickly. And just like that his mother was back to normal. Such a sweet boy, said his mom, smiling. At that point his dad walked back in the dining room and sat down at the table. Oh, where did you go, hun? Asked Kushina as she made Naruto's plate. Bathroom, said Minato a little too quickly. End flashback. Naruto shuddered as he remembered that event. After that he was always careful to stay on his mom's good side. Sadly, this also meant he could no longer wear what his mother called a kill me orange jumpsuit. He now wore clothes like his dad used to wear when he was a genin. Except Naruto's was black instead of white. The jacket had 3 stripes down each sleeve, since his mom wouldn't allow him to wear orange. He compromised by having the stripes yellow, red, and yellow. The color yellow was for him and his dad, and red for his mom. On the back of his jacket was a red Uzumaki swirl along with his clan patch on his right shoulder. His Hittite was now black also, not because he didn't like the one Irika gave him. He just didn't want something to happen to it. So he keep it in a safe spot so he would always have something of Irika-sensei. Naruto got up and stretched. Sighing softly, he wasn't lying when he said this last month had been exhausting. His new senseis were real taskmasters. They all pushed him to his limit, and then some. None more than his mother. Kushina loved her son more than life itself, as she proved when she jumped in front of Kurama's claw to save him. But she saw no reason for her son to be the dead last of his class. It would have been different if he had a handicap or something. But just not paying attention was not a good reason. So while Naruto was out training, a group of 20 clones would stay with Kushina. She would have them learn math, spelling, and history, both clan and village. And on top of all that, she would still drill him in the Uzumaki ceiling style at night. Naruto would go to sleep at night, feeling like his head was going to explode. And that was just from his mother. His dad, on the other hand, while calmer and more calculating, liked to push him just as hard. He would always tell him, if you wish to become Hokage, you first have to know your limits so you can push yourself past them. His dad was full of sayings like that. For instance, to master one's enemy, one must first master himself. Or the true test of skill isn't ending a fight with one hit. It's ending the fight without having to hit. His dad would make a shadow clone of himself that would take a group of Naruto's shadow clones off to train in his wind element. Thanks to the Rinnegan, Naruto had all 5 elements. But his father said to focus on one for right now. Naruto chose wind because that was the one that both his parents had. Minato was also teaching him his signature techniques, the Rinnegan and the Flying Thunder God. Though Minato did explain that he could only learn the theory behind the Flying Thunder God until he got a good grasp on sealing. While his clones were off learning all that his 6 senseis had to teach him, Naruto and the real Minato would work on his speed, strength, and taijutsu. His dad put gravity seals on both his ankles and wrists. From what he understood about them, they didn't increase the gravity so much as it just increased the resistance to his arms and legs, making it harder to move. When Naruto asked what the difference is, his dad told him. For example, Naruto, if you weighed 94 pounds before you put the seals on, you would still weigh 94 pounds after you put them on. It would just feel like you've got an extra 20 or 30 pounds on you, said Minato. When Naruto had asked, why not just use real weights? His dad explained that say Naruto got up to the weight of 200 pounds on each limb. That's a total of 800 pounds plus his body weight. And that most tree branches could only take a couple 100 pounds before snapping. His favorite training done with his dad was when they would stop for lunch. While they ate, his dad would tell him all about being Hokage, what he did, why he did it, and he would go over the finer points of being a leader. When lunch was done, they would play a game of shogi or go. His dad said it was to help him learn strategy, but all Naruto cared about was that he was getting to play a game with his dad. While all that was going on, Naruto also had groups of clones with his other senseis. Hashirama sensei would teach him how to use his yang release to mix water and earth chakra to get wood release. He would also teach him some basic medical ninjutsu. Luckily, Naruto's Rinnegan gave him perfect chakra control, or else Naruto doubted he would have had any luck with it. Medical jutsu was really hard even with perfect chakra control. Tobirama-sensei was the complete opposite of his older brother Hashirama. Where Hashirama, the god of shinobi, was goofy, happy, and a bit laid back, Tobirama was a real hard ass. Not that Naruto would ever tell him that. Naruto loved his health too much. Tobirama-sensei would teach Naruto a few water jutsu but for some reason would not allow Naruto to use his Rinnegan's ability to copy jutsu. Something about too much like the Sharingan and those damn Uchiha. Whatever that was about. Tobirama-sensei also taught him the tree walking and water walking exercise. But the best thing Tobirama would teach him was how to use a sword. Once a week the real Naruto would go with him to learn how to use his sword. Tobirama said it was a skill that any shinobi worth their salt should know. Between his Uchiha senseis, Naruto liked Shisui the most. Shisui, he learned, was a die-hard leaf shinobi. He was quiet and reserved but also kind. It was through talking to Shisui that he found out what really happened to the Uchiha clan. Flashback. So Naruto, tell me about yourself. Do you have any friends back in Konoha? Asked Shisui in his usual soft and calm voice. A few. I mean, there is Kiba. He's kind of a loud mouth like me but he can be cool sometimes. Then there is Choji, he's nice to me for the most part. But that's just him, he's nice to anyone as long as you don't call him fat. Then there is Shikamaru. He may be the laziest guy I know but he is always willing to ditch class with me. Answered Naruto. Is there anyone else? Asked Shisui with a knowing look in his eye. Naruto thought for a minuet. Well, I suppose there is Sasuke. But he is more of a rival than a friend. Said Naruto with his head down. I was hoping you knew him, Naruto. Said Shisui. Why? Asked Naruto. Because he is my best friend's little brother, said Shisui. At this, Naruto's eyes got big and he was about to say something but Shisui stopped him. Listen, Naruto, what I'm about to tell you. You can never tell Sasuke, he would not take it well, said Shisui, and so he told Naruto all about the Uchiha massacre. After he was finished speaking, Naruto was stunned. You mean Itachi killed his whole clan to prevent a coup? Asked Naruto with his jaw all but on the floor. Yes, Itachi loved the Leaf Village so much that the only one he could not bring himself to kill was his baby brother, said Shisui with a sad look on his face. Naruto was now deep in thought. Could I kill my whole clan if I had to? Naruto asked himself. He honestly didn't know if he could. Wow, Itachi would have made a great Hokage, thought Naruto. But something was bugging Naruto. Shisui-sensei, why did the Uchiha clan want to take over the village? Asked Naruto. What you have to understand, Naruto, is that very few people trusted my clan. When Madara Uchiha betrayed the leaf, lots of people wondered if we would too. That mistrust grew slowly over time. Have you ever noticed how there has never been a Uchiha as Hokage? But it all came to a head when the Kyuubi attacked. People began to think the Uchiha were behind it. So our standing and treatment in the village lowered considerably. So much so that they moved us to a corner of Konoha so they could keep a better eye on us. After a while it just got to be too much. Was my clan in the right? No. But neither was the village, said Shisui. Naruto nodded, he could understand that. Then a thought struck him. Why did the villagers think your clan was behind the Kyuubi attack? Asked Naruto. Well, two reasons really. The first is that it was and is a well-known fact that Madara could control the Kyuubi. And the second is that on the night of the attack, the Kyuubi's eyes had a Sharingan in them, said Shisui. Naruto thought of the masked man. Just another reason he needed to die. Naruto knew that it was not Madara as his father first thought, because Madara's soul was in hell. The old sage confirmed this. Shisui-sensei, I promise you I will bring the one responsible to justice, said Naruto with fire in his eyes. Shisui smiled and said, I would like you to promise me something else instead. What? Asked Naruto. Sasuke's mom would like you to try to keep her son from falling into darkness. This request comes straight from her, said Shisui. Naruto thought long and hard on this. Finally Naruto looked Shisui in the eyes. Okay, I promise to do my best. But I want it on record that I still think he is a jerk, said Naruto. This caused Shisui to chuckle. Oh yeah, one other thing Mikoto-sama would like you to do, said Shisui. What that? Asked Naruto. If you are to ever run into Itachi, to tell him that she and his father still love him and that they understand, said Shisui. Naruto nodded in agreement. End flashback. Shisui-sensei would train Naruto in Genjutsu, and he also taught him the leaf body flicker jutsu. Naruto really liked Shusui and had begun to think of him as a big brother. He was always willing to share his wisdom with Naruto. He was the one who told Naruto that to become Hokage he would need to be acknowledged first. Not the other way around. The only sensei Naruto did not like in the slightest was Izuna Uchiha, the younger brother of Madara. Izuna was not happy to be there. He made it known on many occasions that the only reason he was training Naruto was because the sage ordered him to. Izuna was to train Naruto in the Sharingan and Mangekyo Sharingan aspects of Naruto's Rinnegan. So far the only one of the Mangekyo's techniques that Naruto could use was Tsukuyami. But even then he could only hold it for a day. Something Izuna-sensei never missed a chance to mock him about. One thing was for sure, this promised to be an interesting year. Naruto was looking at himself in his mirror. Naruto would never consider himself vain, but he liked what he saw. He had grown in the last 6 months. He now stood at 4'11" and he was still growing. I guess mom was right about eating healthy, thought Naruto to himself. Though Naruto would always love his ramen, his mom had been making him eat a more balanced diet. While not always the tastiest, he couldn't argue with the effects. Naruto had lost a lot of the baby fat around his face, making him look more mature. His mom said that he would have to fight off girls with a stick, making Naruto blush. His dad would just laugh. The thought of girls made Naruto frown a little. The downside of having his intelligence increased was he could now see things that he had previously overlooked, and that brought on thought of Hinata Hyuga. Before his transformation, so to speak, he had always thought that Hinata was dark, sickly, and just plain weird. Now, though he knew the truth, she wasn't weird. She was shy. The blushing, the stuttering, and fainting all made sense to him now that he thought about it. What hadn't made sense to him was why it seemed to be worse around him. So Naruto had what he thought was a good idea. He would ask his mom. Look at it from his perspective. His mom was a girl, and so was Hinata. So surely his mom would know why she would always blush and faint around him. Yeah, that turned out great, thought Naruto sarcastically. It turned out his mom didn't know why Hinata would blush and faint around him, and she took great pleasure in explaining it to her son, then teasing the life out of him. It's not my fault I didn't know. It's not like I got a lot of experience with girls, thought Naruto. The problem with knowing about Hinata's crush on him was that Naruto wasn't really sure how he felt for Hinata. When I get back, I'll try to get to know her. If all it turns into is friendship, that's fine by me, thought Naruto. Another girl Naruto thought of was Sakura Haruno. Sakura was his first crush, and while he always thought she was pretty, looking back, her attitude left a lot to be desired. Truthfully, when Naruto first got a crush on her, she wasn't so bad. But that was before she became obsessed with Sasuke. But now there's a word for girls that act like her, and it starts with a B. Still, Naruto didn't hate her, but she would be in for a shock the next time she went to hit him. Shaking his head clear, Naruto decided to focus on other things. His training was coming along wonderfully. In the last 6 months, Naruto had gotten a good enough grasp on sealing that his dad decided to start teaching him the Hiraishin. Naruto liked Hiraishin because, unlike Kamui, Naruto did not have to have his Jujutsu active to use it. Kamui, which while more versatile than the Hiraishin, was not as fast. It took a couple of seconds for the Kamui vortex to pull you in and allow you to come out the other side, while Hiraishin was instantaneous. The downside of the Hiraishin was the need for jutsu markers. The marker worked like a reverse summon, which was where his father came up with the idea of Hiraishin. Another downside was the fact that the reason the Hiraishin so deadly was his father combined it with his own deadly speed and reflexes. Someone who was slow and clumsy would be just as likely to get themselves killed than as to kill their enemy. Naruto's skill with his Jujutsu was increasing by leaps and bounds. He had already awoken 3 of the 6 paths of the Rinnegan. The Deva path, which allowed him to control attractive and repulsive forces. The Asura path, which allowed Naruto to augment his body with mechanized armor. And the Preta path, which allowed Naruto to absorb an infinite amount of chakra. Naruto can also absorb most jutsu using this path, making it great for defense. On the Sharingan aspect of his Rinnegan, Naruto could now use Kamui, Tsukuyami. Though Naruto could only hold someone in it for about a day and a half, it would seem that Genjutsu was never going to be his strong point. Amaterasu, and he had even had limited success with Shursui-sensei's signature jutsu Kodo Amatsukami. And last month he had awakened Susanoo in a particularly vicious spar with Izuna-sensei. Naruto shuddered at the memory. He wasn't sure spar was the right word for it. Flashback. Fire style, great fireball jutsu, shouted Izuna, sending a huge fireball at Naruto. Naruto was already going through hand signs. Water style, water encampment wall, shouted Naruto, silently thanking Tobirama-sensei for teaching him that jutsu. Sadly, while Naruto was focusing on stopping the fireball, Izuna used that to his advantage. In a blur of speed, he appeared behind Naruto, landing a solid kick to Naruto's side. Naruto was sent flying through the air. When Izuna-sensei told Naruto that they were going to try to awaken Naruto's Susanoo, Naruto had thought that he would be meditating like he did to awaken his paths. He had not expected Izuna to come at him like a man out for revenge. It did not help that Naruto had only been in one real fight, whereas Izuna had been fighting in life or death battles since he was a boy. Naruto flipped in midair to control his fall, allowing him to land on his feet, while Naruto's Rinnegan allowed Naruto to both read and predict Izuna's movements. Naruto just did not yet have the speed to counter. Naruto's only choice was to try to keep this battle ranged, where his Rinnegan did give him an advantage. Going through the hand signs of a jutsu Shursui sensei taught him. Naruto shouted fire style, roaring flame sphere, sending the deadly fireball at Izuna. Izuna's eyes widened at the size of the fireball coming his way, quickly jumping to the side to avoid the ball of flaming death, which was what Naruto wanted from the start. Noticing that the ground he was on was no longer solid, Naruto having used the hidden Bog Jutsu to make him sink up to his shins. Before he could get himself out, he heard Naruto's voice call out, "Wood style, tree bind eternal burial," causing a tree to grow around Izuna, keeping him in place. Naruto sighed in relief. Got him, he thought, which was good because Naruto didn't think could have lasted any longer. This fight had been going for a while. Naruto had never felt this beat up in his life. Limping his way to Izuna cautiously, Naruto was halfway to him when Izuna turned into 1,000 black butterflies. Genjutsu? Thought Naruto. When did he dash? Before Naruto could finish his thought, Izuna appeared in front of him with murder in his eyes. He had a ninjato in his hand, heading straight for Naruto's heart. Naruto didn't have the time or energy to dodge, closing his eyes in acceptance. "I'm sorry, Mom," Dad thought Naruto as he waited for the blow that would end him. But it never came. Opening his eyes, what Naruto saw shocked him. Blocking the blade was an ethereal-looking ribcage with what looked like red-orange flames around it. "We're done for today," said Izuna, his murderous look now gone, leaving his face in its usual impassiveness, but Naruto saw something strange in his eyes. Could that have been pride? End flashback. Shaking his head, Naruto left his room to face whatever the day threw at him. Time skip. It had now been a year since Naruto had started his training in the Spirit and Time Chamber. In that year, Naruto had changed a lot. He now stood at a respectable height of 5.2. His hair had grown longer, looking similar to his father's but different enough for Naruto to still be his own person. And it looks like Menma's from Road to Ninja. His face was leaner, and he now had a serious look in his eyes that he lacked before. Yesterday he said his goodbyes to all of his senseis at a going-away party in his honor. All his senseis were there, even Old Man Sage came to wish him well. The party was a lot of fun, well, except for the fact that Izuna-sensei and Tobirama-sensei kept glaring at each other all night. He had become close to all of his senseis, even Izuna-sensei. Once Naruto had gotten past the wall he had built around himself. He was actually a pretty good guy. Now there were only two left to say goodbye to, and these were the two he most didn't want to have to say goodbye to. His mother and father. "Have you got all your things, son?" asked Minato with a sad look on his face. "Yeah, Dad, I'm all packed," said Naruto, looking at the ground. "Well, we better not keep your mother waiting," said Minato. Naruto followed his father out of the house to the door that would take him out of the chamber. His mother was waiting with tears in her eyes. Naruto walked over to his mom and gave her a hug. His own eyes started to tear up. "I wish I didn't have to leave," said Naruto sadly. "I know, Naruto, we wish the same. But you belong with the living, son, they need you. We will see each other again someday. Until then, just know that we love you and we always will. Now promise me you will take care of yourself, Naruto," said Kushina. "Remember what you have learned, Naruto. Stay strong and achieve your dream. We know that you can, we believe in you, son," said Minato to his son. Naruto, hugging his parents one last time, said, "I love you, Mom and Dad. I will make you guys proud of me, I promise, and I never go back on my word." "We know, Naruto. And we are already so proud of you," said Minato. "Oh yeah, Naruto, when you see your godfather, kick him in the nuts for me," said Kushina. Laughing, Naruto agreed. Tell his parents that he loved them one last time. Naruto walked out the door, back to his life and the start of a whole new adventure. Hiruzen Sarutobi, also known as the Professor, and the god of shinobi, sighed in frustration as he looked at the ninja registration photo of one Uzumaki Naruto. "Retake it," said the third Hokage. "What? But why?" demanded Naruto. Naruto had not done what he had originally wanted to do, which was paint his face in kabuki-style paint. So why was the old man making him retake his photo? "Naruto, this form is used for ninja training and missions, so the photo on it needs to be accurate," Now drop the henge and retake it, shouted the third Hokage. But I'm not using a henge, old man, honest, said Naruto, thinking to himself that he should have saw this coming. Naruto, nobody changes that much in 4 days. If you're not using a henge, then explain how you grew over half a foot in so short of a time, said Hiruzen, suspicious. After all, Naruto was a well-known prankster. I don't know. It just kind of happened, lied Naruto smoothly. He had long ago perfected the art of lying his way out of trouble. He knew one day soon he would have to come clean to the old man. But right now Naruto just didn't want to have to deal with it. Look, if you don't believe me, just check for yourself, said Naruto. Sarutobi did as Naruto said, and was shocked to find that indeed Naruto was not using a henge. But how? Could it have been the fox? But why would the fox do something that Naruto could actually benefit from? Before he could contemplate this any further, his thoughts were interrupted by someone bellowing out. I've got you now, old man, yelled a little boy of about 8 years old, heading at Sarutobi in a dead sprint. Time, I'll defeat you, old man. Then I'll become the 5th Hokage. The boy never got to finish his sentence, as he promptly tripped over his own 2 feet, causing those in the room to facepalm. My grandson, another headache, thought Hiruzen. This is the 20th sneak attack today. Is this boy for real? Just who is this shrimp? Thought Naruto. At that point another voice was heard, belonging to a man dressed in all black with shades on his face. Honorable grandson, are you okay? Said the man. The boy, however, ignored him. Hey, who tripped me? Asked the boy, but when he saw Naruto, the boy put 2 and 2 together, and came up with 5. It was you, wasn't it? Why did you trip me? Demanded the boy. Naruto, getting upset, grabbed the boy by his scarf. You tripped over your own 2 feet, moron, snapped Naruto. Hey, you let go of the honorable grandson of the honorable 3rd Hokage, yelled the man in all black, causing Naruto to pause for a second. That stopped him, just like all the rest. Now that he knows who I am, he won't lay a finger on me, thought the boy smugly. What's wrong, tough guy? I thought you were going to hit me. Afraid cause the 3rd Hokage is my granddad? Challenged the boy, not knowing just who he was challenging. I don't care if you're the grandson of Kami, you're still just a brat to me, yelled Naruto, hitting the boy on top of his head. This guy's different, thought the boy as he passed out. Naruto walked out of the room, leaving an exasperated Hokage and a scandalized Ebisu. Break. Naruto was walking down the street after leaving the academy, but sadly he was not alone. It would seem that he was being followed, and not very skillfully at that. Alright, punk, what's the deal? Why are you following me? Asked Naruto, finally having had enough. So you saw through my disguise, huh? The rumors about you are true, you are good. Alright, from now on I'm your apprentice, and you're my trainer. Then you can show me how to do the sexy jutsu you used to defeat my grandfather, said the boy in a hurry. Whoa, who said anything about training you? And why would I teach you the sexy jutsu? Asked Naruto, perplexed. Please, boss? You got to teach me the sexy jutsu, you just got to, begged the little boy, while using the dreaded puppy eyes jutsu, making Naruto feel a little sorry for him. Well, I suppose I could try to teach him the sexy jutsu. Who knows, it could turn out to be fun, plus it would really get under the old man's skin, thought Naruto with a mischievous glint in his eye. Making up his mind, Naruto said, alright, I'll teach you the sexy jutsu. But you got to promise me 2 things. What's that, boss? Asked the boy. One, that you will never, ever use the sexy jutsu around a female, especially if I'm anywhere close to you, said Naruto, deadly serious. Okay, what's the second thing? Asked the boy. At this, Naruto got an evil grin on face and said, that you'll use it to make your granddad's life hell. Deal, said the boy with a matching evil grin. Break. A few hours later found Naruto sitting with the boy in a clearing. The boy looked tired but pleased with himself. That was util Naruto asked him something. So tell me something, why is it so important to you that you defeat your grandfather? Asked Naruto. Well, you see, my grandfather named me Konohamaru after the village, so you would think it would be an easy name to remember. But no one calls me Konohamaru, instead they call me Honorable Grandson. They call me that because nobody sees me, they just see my grandfather, the 3rd Hokage. That's why I have to defeat my grandfather and become the 5th Hokage. So people will know who I am, said Konohamaru with conviction in his voice. Naruto was deep and thought, he sounds a lot like I used to, but still that's not a very good reason to want to be Hokage. I'll have to tell him what I was told. Finally Naruto spoke. I understand how you feel more than you know. I have to tell you though, Your reason for wanting to be Hokage is completely stupid, said Naruto non-gently. What? Shouted Konohamaru. I used to think the same as you. I wanted to be Hokage because I wanted people to acknowledge me. To stop looking at me with those cold eyes. But someone once told me something that you need to hear, said Naruto. What's that? Asked Konohamaru. That people don't become Hokage to be acknowledged. It's the people who are acknowledged that become Hokage, said Naruto. Looking at Konohamaru in the eyes, Naruto continued speaking. You see, Konohamaru, I no longer want to be Hokage to get acknowledgement from the village. I want to become Hokage because I truly believe that I can make a difference, and to fulfill a promise I made to an old man. Finished Naruto. Before Konohamaru could respond, a voice called out. There you are, honorable grandson, I've come to take you away from this filth, said the same man from before, giving Naruto an icy glare. Come along, honorable grandson. I will take you home now, said the man, dragging Konohamaru away by the scarf. No, I want to stay and find out how to become Hokage, yelled Konohamaru, fighting to stay with Naruto. If you wish to become Hokage, then your time would be better spent with me. I can show you all the shortcuts, said Ebisu. Konohamaru finally broke away from Ebisu. You never listened to me. Sexy jutsu, said Konohamaru, disappearing in a cloud of smoke. When the smoke cleared, it revealed an 18-year-old attractive female with only steam covering her private parts. What do you think of my new jutsu? She asked. What kind of jutsu is that? Naruto is turning you into delinquent, screamed Ebisu. It didn't work, said Konohamaru after dispelling the jutsu. Honorable grandson, I demand that you come with me and stop this foolishness at once, said Ebisu. Naruto, finally having enough, stepped forward. Shadow clone jutsu, yelled Naruto, now surrounded by 20 clones. Ebisu, seeing this, said, Hey, I'm not impressed. I'm a Jounin, an elite. I'm far above some lightweight like Mizuki. Watch how a real ninja defeats an upstart, finished Ebisu pompously. All at once, the clones yelled out, Sexy jutsu, turning into 20 Narukos. I told you already, I am above such tactics. You will have to do better than that to take me down. I am an elite, yelled Ebisu. It was at that moment that the real Naruto burst out of the ground, landing a solid uppercut to Ebisu's chin, the clones only having been a diversion. Ebisu was sent flying back into unconsciousness. Yeah, you're an elite alright, and yet you still got knocked the hell out, said Naruto coldly. Wow, boss, you did it, yelled Konohamaru with no small amount of hero worship in his voice. Yeah, hey, listen, Konohamaru. I've got to go home now. I'm finding out who my sensei is going to be tomorrow. But remember what I said about becoming Hokage, there are no shortcuts to it, okay? If you want to be Hokage, you have to become strong, and that takes time and hard work. You got a long road ahead of you full of sweat and tears, but if keep at it, you'll make it one day. You and me will fight for the title of Hokage, said Naruto. Fine then, from this moment on we're rivals, yelled Konohamaru, but inside he was smiling. He had finally met someone who saw him for him, and not his grandfather. Haha, you got it, Konohamaru, chuckled Naruto as he walked away. Unknown to them, was that someone had been watching them the whole time. You're finally growing up, huh, Naruto? Not only did you manage to knock out Ebisu with a clever strategy, using those clones and that ridiculous jutsu to disguise that you were burrowing underground, getting under Ebisu's guard and landing a knockout hit, but you've also got through to my grandson, something I myself have been unable to do. Way to go, Naruto, you may just achieve your dream after all, thought the third Hokage with a smile. Break. Naruto was making his way to the classroom to find out who his sensei and team were going to be. He had on his black jacket and pants, mesh undershirt, black sandals and forehead protector, and finally he had Zanpakuto strapped to his back. Unfortunately, Naruto had slept in a little bit, so he was running behind. Opening the door to Irika-sensei's classroom, he found Irika standing in front of the class talking. When he walked in, the class fell silent. Sorry I'm late, Irika-sensei, I didn't hear my alarm go off, said Naruto. That's okay, Naruto, we just started anyway, go take a seat, said Irika. Irika was not as stunned as everyone else, the Hokage having told him of Naruto's change, but hearing it and seeing it were two different things. You could barely recognize him. When Irika last saw Naruto, he stood at 4 feet 7 inches, and now he had to be at least 5 square feet, and that was not the only thing that had changed. Naruto's hair was longer, framing his face, he had lost most of his baby weight, making him look more mature, and last but not least, there wasn't a spot of orange on him. In short, he looked like a mini 4th Hokage. Irika wasn't the only one stunned by Naruto's change. That's Naruto? When did he get so hot? Thought a girl with pink hair. Chow my Sasuke is still way better, thought inner Sakura. I like Sasuke not Naruto, I like Sasuke not Naruto, I like Sasuke not Naruto, chanted a blonde girl in her mind. Naruto, thought a girl with lavender eye dreamily, as a small bit of blood dripped out of her nose. Thought a boy with a high collar jacket and sunglasses on. I bet I could still kick his ass, thought a boy with a dog on his head. And guess who? He must be eating some good food if he grew that much. I wonder if I can get some, though a boy who was on the larger side. Troublesome, thought a boy with a pineapple for a haircut. Naruto was looking for a seat, the only one he could find open was beside Hinata Hyuga. I wonder if she will faint, thought Naruto. Hey Hinata, do you mind if I sit beside you? Asked Naruto. Of course I don't mind, screamed Hinata in her head. Sure Naruto, I don't mind, said Hinata shyly. As Naruto sat down at his desk, he was deep in thought. Man, there has got to be something I can do about her shyness around me. But what? Wait a minute. That's it, I got it. I would work, but I won't do it unless she agrees to it. Naruto was so into his thoughts that he almost missed his name being called. Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno, and Sasuke Uchiha. Oh, just great, I really should have known, thought Naruto. Meanwhile, he saw Sakura giving Ino a smug look. Probably just gloating that she is on Sasuke's team. Thought Naruto. Hinata looks kind of down. She must have been hoping to get on a team with me. Hoping to cheer her up, he sent her a heartwarming smile. Naruto is smiling at me, thought Hinata as a huge blush rose on her face. Seeing the blush, Naruto thought she looked kinda cute. Team 8, Kiba Inuzuka, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburame. Hinata was too busy thinking about Naruto's smile to care. And Team 10 will be Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi. Alright everyone, we will now have lunch. Afterwards you're to come back here and meet your senseis. Good luck everyone, said Irika, dismissing the class to go eat. Hey Hinata, would you like to eat lunch with me? Asked Naruto. Naruto's asking me to eat lunch with him? Thought Hinata, shocked. SSSS sure, and Naruto, answered Hinata. Naruto smiled a winning smile at her, and led her to a small clearing where they started to eat their lunch. The whole time Hinata had a huge blush on her face, and was doing her best to keep from fainting, all the while wondering how she got so lucky. Finally Naruto asked her what he brought her here to ask. Hey Hinata, if I said I had a jutsu would increase your confidence, what would you say? Asked Naruto, looking at the ground. Hinata thought that was a strange question, but answered anyway. After all, she would love to be a more confident person. I would say TT teach it TT to me, finished Hinata, trying to sound humorous. Naruto laughed lightly, still looking at the ground. It's not really something I can teach, Hinata, it's more of a bloodline, said Naruto seriously. Hinata turned to look at Naruto. Why you mean why you're not joking? Hinata asked Naruto with a stunned look on her face. No Hinata, I'm not, said Naruto, looking at Hinata for the first time since he started speaking. Is it something you would want me to use? If not, I would completely understand, said Naruto. Hinata gave it some thought. She thought about Clan looking down of her, her dad giving up on her, she thought about the time Naruto had to save her from the bullies, about how he had gotten beat up over it. And lastly, she thought about her feelings for Naruto, feelings she was never able to bring herself to make known to him. Finally, she looked at him in the eye with all the determination she could muster, and said, why yes Naruto, do it. Naruto sighed. Okay Hinata, what you're about to see is a secret, so please don't ever tell anyone. With that said, Naruto activated his Rinnegan. Hinata was shocked, she had never seen anything like it. It's called the Rinnegan, and what I am about to do is called Kodoama Tsukumi. I want you to know I would never use this on you without your permission, said Naruto as he began to explain how Kodoama Tsukumi works to Hinata. Break. Naruto had spent a lot of the time passing notes with Hinata and laughing, since coming back to the classroom, at least until Hinata's sensei had come to get her and her team. That had been hours ago, and still no sign of their sensei. Naruto was starting to get a bad feeling about who it was, due to something his dad had said about his student Kakashi. As if to confirm his theory, said man stuck his head in the door. My first impression of you is you're boring, said Kakashi with a nice smile, causing his students to sweat drop. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. Before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Naruto, wanting to show off a little bit, did the same, appearing right in front of Kakashi. So he knows the body flicker. I wonder what else he can do. thought Kakashi. A few minutes later, Sasuke and Sakura showed up glaring at Naruto. Having a seat on a bench facing Kakashi, Kakashi asked them to introduce themselves. "Why don't you go first, sensei?" said Sakura. "Okay, my name Kakashi Hatake. My likes are none of your business, my dislikes are nothing, my dreams for the future are well, I have lots of hobbies." All we learned was his name. Was the thought going trough all three genin? "Okay, now why don't you go, Blondie?" said Kakashi. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My likes are my precious people and ramen, my dislikes are people who abandon their friends. My hobbies include training and gardening. My dream for the future is to become Hokage and to bring peace to the shinobi world," finished Naruto. "Interesting," thought Kakashi. "Alright, you next, Pinky." And Sakura's and Sasuke's are the same as the manga. So a fangirl, an avenger, and an enigma, thought Kakashi. "Okay, met me at Training Ground 7 at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. For our first mission," said Kakashi. "What type of mission is it, sensei?" asked Sakura. "Well, you're not going to like this, but your first mission is a survival test," said Kakashi, laughing. "But sensei, we already did survival training in the academy," said Sakura, confused. "Yeah, this is the part you're not going to like. You see, of the 27 graduates that came here, only 9 will actually become genin. The other 18 will be sent back to the academy for further training. In other words, this is a make it or break it, pass or fail exam with at least a 66% chance of failing," said Kakashi, shocking all 3 of his students. "Remember 5 a.m. Training Ground 7. Oh yeah, one last thing, I would skip breakfast if I were you guys, or else you'll throw up," said Kakashi before he body flickered away, leaving his students deep in thought. "I won't be separated from Sasuke, this is a test of love," thought Sakura. "I won't fail, I will pass and become Stanger to avenge my clan," thought Sasuke. "Don't eat breakfast, what kind of advice is that?" thought Naruto. Naruto awoke feeling irritable. Looking at his alarm, he saw it was only 3:30 a.m. Naruto hated getting up early. His dad had told him all about his students, how after the death of Obito, Kakashi started coming late to everything except missions. But Naruto was giving him this one chance. If he didn't show up on time today, Naruto would not be waiting for him again. Making his way to his shower, as he started to run the water, he thought of yesterday. Maybe it wasn't right to use Kodo Amatsukami on Hinata. But Hinata needed a confidence boost, and Naruto was afraid her low confidence would cost her on the battlefield. Plus, Naruto had told her what Kodo Amatsukami was. As Naruto stepped into the shower, he remembered the talk he had with Hinata. Flashback. Okay, Hinata, Kodo Amatsukami is a genjutsu that allows the user to plant false experiences, feelings, emotions, or other things of that nature into the mind of whoever he uses it on. It's quite possibly the most powerful genjutsu in the world. The reason I'm telling you this is to let you know that all I'm going to do is give you a little more confidence that you would have eventually gotten on your own. We're just going to be speeding things up a little," said Naruto. "Do you really think I would have become a C confident PP person on my own?" asked Hinata, blushing as she spoke. "Yes, I do. You're a great person, Hinata. You just have to see it for yourself," answered Naruto, making Hinata blush. "Naruto thinks that I'm a great person. Don't faint, don't faint, don't faint," thought Hinata as she tried and failed to fight the blush that his words had caused. "Okay, Hinata, when you're ready, just look in my eyes, and we can begin," said Naruto. Hinata was nervous, but swallowed her fear and looked into Naruto's Dijitsu. Suddenly she felt different, but at the same time she still felt like herself. It was like she could now see her own self-worth. She could see how she was a good person, kind-hearted, with talents that she never before let herself see. "How do you feel, Hinata?" asked Naruto, hoping it worked. "It's strange, Naruto. I feel different, but the same. I don't know how to describe it," said Hinata, deep in thought. It was then she realized she had said all that without one stutter. "I didn't stutter. I didn't stutter, it worked," thought Hinata, ecstatic. "Naruto, it worked. I feel like a whole new person." "Thank you, thank you, thank you," yelled Hinata happily. "Hinata, that's great," exclaimed Naruto. Without thinking, he hugged her and stared, spinning her around. Hugging him back, Hinata laughed joyously as he span her in the air. Then all at once, they both realized what they were doing. Setting her down, Naruto and Hinata both backed away quickly, with matching blushes on their faces. Yeah, that's great," mumbled Naruto while looking away. Yeah, thanks, Naruto," replied Hinata, cursing her own embarrassment, as she too looked away. Naruto had hoped to put this talk off until later. But after that hug, they need to go ahead and face the elephant in the room. So mustering his courage, Naruto spoke. Hinata, can I ask you something? Asked Naruto, scratching the back of his head, a nervous habit he hadn't been able to kick. Oh, okay, Naruto, said Hinata, kind of nervous. She had a feeling she wasn't going to like what he was about to ask her. Hinata, how do you feel for me? Asked Naruto, looking at the ground. Poor Hinata's eyes grew wide, as an old familiar blush crept its way up her face. Why would he ask me that? Does he know? No. He can't know, no one does. I never told anyone. I think I might already know, but I want to hear it from you, continued Naruto, unaware of Hinata's internal debate. Oh my Kami, he does know! But how? Thought Hinata, quite panicked by where this talk was heading. Deciding it would be best to take the bull by the horns and hope for the best, Hinata finally spoke. I've admired you since I first saw you, Naruto. I admired that no matter how bad things got for you, you would always keep your head up and smile, even though I know you must have wanted to, you never gave up, said Hinata, growing bolder with each word she spoke. Then came the day that you saved me from those bullies. Even though you were outnumbered, you still stood up to them for me, someone you didn't even know. I think that was the day my feelings for you shifted from admiration to something else, something stronger, said Hinata with fire in her voice. You asked me how I feel for you. Well, the truth is that I like you, Naruto, maybe even love you, finished Hinata, feeling lighter, as if by that one admission a weight had been lifted. Naruto was beyond shocked at this point. He had known that Hinata had a crush on him, but he had never suspected that she had felt that strongly about him. But how do I feel about her? Naruto asked himself. Naruto knew that Hinata was sweet, kind, and if he was honest, very pretty. But other than that, he knew nothing about her. What were her likes, what her favorite food was, or what hobbies she had, what she hoped to accomplish in life. He knew none of these things, so would it be fair to her, or himself for that matter, to start a relationship with her, without really knowing her? No, Naruto didn't think it would be. But Naruto could be her friend, and if something more were to come of that down the road, well, who was he to complain? Listen, Hinata, thank you for being so honest with me. I have to say I'm a little shocked that you feel that strongly about me. But to tell you the truth, I don't really know you well enough to date you. But if you would let me, I would like to get to know you. So could we maybe start out as friends and go from there? Finished Naruto hopefully. Hinata, whose heart had steadily been sinking throughout Naruto's speech, suddenly felt it jump back into her chest. Naruto hadn't been rejecting her as she had first thought, he just wanted to take things slow. And that she could definitely handle. Looking at Naruto, Hinata smiled. I would like that, Naruto. I really would, said Hinata. That's great, said Naruto as he hugged Hinata. This time neither of them blushed or broke away. Soon they made their way back to the academy, smiling and laughing. End flashback. Stepping out of the shower, Naruto smiled. It was nice to finally have a friend his own age. But he also knew that sometime soon, he would have to share his secrets with her. And that thought scared him. How in the hell was he going to explain Kurama? Hey Hinata, want to go grab some ramen? Oh yeah, I also have a huge demonic fox in my gut. But don't worry, he ain't so bad once you get to know him. Somehow Naruto just didn't think that would go so well. Deciding to put these thoughts away until later, Naruto started putting on his shinobi gear. When he was done, he looked at the time and saw that it was only 4 a.m. He still had an hour till had to be at the training ground. Deciding breakfast was in order, he didn't care what his so-called sensei said. Going into battle on an empty stomach was stupid at best, deadly at worst. Making himself a breakfast of eggs, toast, and a grapefruit, with a glass of fresh milk to wash it down, Naruto began to eat. After he was finished, he sealed some ramen he cooked into a scroll. Looking at the clock, he saw it was time to make his way to the field. Walking out of his apartment, Naruto locked his door and headed to Training Ground 7, ready for whatever their sensei had in store for them. The sun had yet to come up when Naruto arrived at the training ground. Looking around, Naruto saw Sakura and Sasuke arriving at the same time, Sakura looking dead on her feet, while Sasuke just looked well like Sasuke, all broody and emo. Is sensei here yet? Asked Sakura. Naruto just shook his head no. Oh okay, said Sakura with a yawn. An hour, that's how long the three of them stood there, before Naruto figured out that his dad had not been joking about Kakashi's chronic lateness. Look guys, it's obvious that this is going to be just like yesterday. This guy is going to keep us waiting for hours again. If you two want to take a nap or something, I'll wake you when he shows up, said Naruto, surprising them both, though Sasuke refused to let it show. HN, said Sasuke. What about you, Naruto? asked Sakura, trying to be nice to Naruto for one. After all, he had not bugged her or asked for a date once since the Chunin exam. So she tried to cut him a little break. I'm not really sleepy anymore, Sakura. Thanks for the concern though, answered Naruto, more than a little surprised that she was being nice to him. I'm just going to stretch and work out a little to loosen up, finished Naruto. Naruto started to stretch and loosen his muscles. Without saying anything, Sasuke joined him, never one to be outdone. While Sakura sat down and watched the two boys work out, both trying to outdo the other. Boys, thought Sakura. As she watched them, Sakura couldn't help but wonder about the changes in Naruto. Not just the physical ones, but the mental ones as well. Where Naruto had once been a great big ball of annoying energy, now he was calm. Where he used to be loud, now he was quiet. Where once he was an idiot, now he seemed smart. What could have happened to him to cause such a drastic change? Deciding to just ask, Sakura spoke. Hey Naruto! Yelled out Sakura to get Naruto's attention. Naruto pausing mid-push-up. Looking at Sakura, he could tell she wanted to ask him something. So he got up and walked over. Yes, Sakura? Asked Naruto. Naruto, I was wondering, why do you seem so different? I mean, you're taller, calmer, it's almost like you're a whole new person, said Sakura. Naruto, aware that Sasuke was also listening in, didn't quite know how to answer that, so he just shrugged and said, Puberty? Asked Naruto, making Sakura blush to the roots of her hair. Just forget I ever asked, Naruto, said Sakura, mortified that she asked. Shrugging again, Naruto went back to his competition with Sasuke. Deciding to take a nap, Sakura leaned against a tree and closed her eyes. After finishing the workout, Naruto and Sasuke woke up Sakura. By this time, the sun was starting to get high in the sky. Where is he? Asked Sakura, getting upset. Right here, said Kakashi, appearing in front of them. You're late, yelled Sakura. Well, you see, a black cat crossed my path, so I had to find alternate route, lied Kakashi happily. Liar, thought all three of them. Seeing his students glare at him, Kakashi thought he better change the subject. Alright, let's get started, said Kakashi, pulling an alarm out of nowhere. He sat the alarm on a training post. It's set for noon, you have until then to get one of these bells from me. Kakashi held up 2 bells for his students to see. Whoever doesn't get a bell before the alarm goes off will fail this test and go back to the academy. They will also be tied to the post and have to watch as the others eat lunch, finished Kakashi. So that's why he told us not to eat breakfast, thought Sasuke and Sakura, as both of their stomachs growled. Glad I ate breakfast, said Naruto. Everyone looked at him incredulously. Why did you disregard my order not to eat, Naruto? Asked Kakashi, sounding like he was upset. Because you didn't order us not to eat, you advised us not to eat, and I don't take bad advice, so I ate. Besides, it's foolish to go into battle on an empty stomach, said Naruto, like it was the most obvious answer in the world. So he figured that out, huh? But how will he handle the test? Thought Kakashi. How did the dope figure that out when I myself didn't? Sasuke asked himself, not quite sure how to take this. Did Naruto just use logic? Since when does Naruto use logic? Thought Sakura, stunned. Inner Sakura was just as stumped. Shaking her head clear at Sakura, noticed something. Hey sensei, how come there are only 2 bells? Asked Sakura. Noticed that, have you? It's so one of you fails no matter what, said Kakashi in an evil kind of voice, shocking all 3 genin. I won't fail. I won't go back to the academy. I have to avenge my clan, thought Sasuke fiercely. I can't fail. If I fail, then I won't get to be with Sasuke, thought Sakura in a panic. Cha! We'll get a bell no matter who we have to destroy, yelled inner Sakura. Naruto, however, was deep in thought. His dad had once told him that a shinobi must always look underneath the underneath. And this smelled fishy. This doesn't sound right. Why would they put us in a team of 3 if one of us doesn't have a hope of passing? It makes no sense. It's almost like he is trying to pit us against each other. But why would he purposely pit us against one another? Unless, of course. That's it, a test hidden within the test. He wants us to work as a team, despite the fact that one of us will still fail, thought Naruto. One more thing before we start, come at me with intent to kill. Otherwise you will lose, said Kakashi seriously. But sensei, what if you get hurt? Questioned Sakura. Oh, don't worry about me, somehow I think I will be fine, answered Kakashi in a bored manner. Alright, ready? Begin, said Kakashi, as all three genin disappeared. A shinobi must be able to move and hide undetected, thought Kakashi as he looked around for any sign of his students. Well, they got that down at least. I wonder if I got time to read a chapter, thought Kakashi as he pulled out a signed copy of Aika Aika. Letting out a perverted giggle, Kakashi went about his way, unaware that up in a tree a beetle just puffed out of existence. Back with Naruto. Naruto was looking for his teammates when he received his clone's memories. Naruto smiled a truly evil smile as he remembered something his parents said. Mini flashback. Naruto, his mom, and his dad were sitting around the kitchen table talking. His dad was talking about his top student Kakashi Hatake. It's sad, but after Rin and Obito died, Kakashi changed. He took on a more Obito-like personality, always showing up late to everything that wasn't a mission, coming up with bad excuses for being late. Even before his father could finish what he was saying, he was interrupted by his wife. Became hopelessly addicted to that smut, your sensei writes, Minato-kun, Kushina said mischievously. And mini flashback. Naruto had an idea. Now if only he could find his teammates. As if to answer his problem, he heard a shrill scream that could only belong to Sakura. It looked like Kakashi found her first. A few minuets earlier was Sakura. I have to find my Sasuke. I won't let Kakashi get him, I won't, thought Sakura as she ran through the forest. Spotting Kakashi in a clearing, she stopped. Good he didn't see me, she thought. Sakura, behind you, came a voice from behind. Turning around, Sakura came face to face with Kakashi. Suddenly her world went dark as leaves swirled around her. When she came to, she began to look around when she heard a noise. Hello, is someone there? She asked in a scared voice. Sakura help me, came Sasuke's voice from the side. Turning in the direction of his voice, what she saw was something out of her worst nightmares. Sasuke was bloody all over, he had kunai and shuriken stuck all in his body, and it looked like both his legs had been broken. Facing the sight before her, Sakura did the most logical thing she could think of, she screamed and fainted. Kakashi, watching this, thought to himself, maybe I overdid it a little? Oh well, she needs to learn to see through these things. Kakashi was heading to find one of his other students when he was attacked by shuriken. Ah, and here is one now, thought Kakashi as he dodged the attack. At that moment Sasuke came flying out of the trees, running at Kakashi. Sasuke threw a right hook at Kakashi only to have it blocked. You won't take me down so easily, I'm on a whole other level than the other two, said Sasuke arrogantly, as he tried to counter with a kick only to have it blocked too. Well, your ego is definitely on a whole other level. As far as your skill is concerned, that's yet to be seen, said Kakashi. Sasuke broke away from Kakashi and threw a kunai at him. Kakashi moved to the side, only to see the kunai slice a rope. Booby trap, thought Kakashi, as he jumped to the left to avoid the rain of kunai coming at him. Looking over at Sasuke, he saw him already going through hand signs. Impossible, he thought. Fire style, fireball jutsu, yelled Sasuke as he sent a huge fireball at Kakashi, hitting him dead on. After the fire and smoke cleared, he looked for Kakashi, only to see a burnt log. Substitution? Thought Sasuke, as he heard a voice behind him. You know you really shouldn't let your enemy get behind you, Sasuke, said Kakashi. Turning his head, Sasuke saw Kakashi running at him with his hands in a tiger seal. Leaf Village Secret Finger Jutsu, 1,000 Years of Death, said Kakashi. Before Sasuke could move, he felt Kakashi's fingers hit him where nothing else ever had. His eyes widening comically, he shot through the air with tears in his eyes, while also holding on to his abused rear end. It's funny how sometimes when you experience something traumatic, your mind will sometimes go to odd places. Because all Sasuke thought as he flew through the air was, thank Kami Sakura wasn't here to see this, lest she get any ideas about him. Sasuke knew how some girls got over yaoi manga. After landing about 10 feet away, Sasuke shakily got to his feet, and began looking around. Where was Kakashi? He's not around or above me, so that must mean that he's dash. At that point, two hands burst out of the ground and grabbed Sasuke by the legs, pulling him under up to his neck. Kakashi came out of the ground in front of him. That he's below you, said Kakashi, finishing Sasuke's sentence for him. Earth style, headhunter jutsu, said Kakashi to Sasuke. Well, now you really are ahead of the others, Sasuke, said Kakashi, putting emphasis on the word head. Bye, Sasuke, called out Kakashi as he walked away, leaving Sasuke buried in the ground. Back with Naruto. Naruto had found Sakura passed out on the ground. Walking over to her, he shook her to wake her up. Sakura awoke a little disoriented. And Naruto, what are you doing here? Sakura asked. Then she remembered what happened. Sasuke! Naruto, we have to help Sasuke, he's hurt. Finished Sakura in a panic, looking around wildly for her crush. Relax Sakura, I think Kakashi-sensei just used a jujutsu to make you think Sasuke's hurt. Replied Naruto, trying to calm his teammate down. I'm sure your precious Sasuke is just fine. Finished Naruto. Coming somewhat to her senses, she agreed with Naruto. Yeah, you must be right, Naruto. I mean, there's no way my Sasuke could lose that badly. Said Sakura in all her fangirl glory. Why couldn't Hinata have been the girl on the team? Thought Naruto sadly, shaking his head to clear it of such thoughts. Naruto got back to business. Sakura, come on, we need to find Sasuke. I've got a plan that should allow all of us to pass. Follow me, said Naruto as he walked off in the direction of the fight he had heard earlier. Sakura followed him more because she wanted to find her Sasuke, than because Naruto had a plan. But if Naruto knew where Sasuke was, then she would follow him. A few minutes later, Naruto and Sakura walked into a clearing and saw Sasuke's head sticking out of the ground. It would have looked like he had his head cut off, if it weren't for the lack of blood and a body anywhere to be found. Sakura, upon seeing just Sasuke's head, once again screamed and fainted. Shaking his head sadly, Naruto couldn't help but wonder just why in the hell she wanted to be a kunoichi. Stopping to take a good look at Sasuke, who was scowling at Naruto, Naruto had to stop himself from laughing and making just a head pun. Something like, hey Sasuke, next time, stop while you're ahead. But he resisted barely. Would you like some help? Naruto asked. I don't need yours or anyone's help, snapped Sasuke. Okay, be that way, but I should tell you, we only have about 40 more minutes to get the bells and you don't look anywhere close to getting out of there, said Naruto evenly. Fine, help me out, grumbled Sasuke quietly. I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you, asked Naruto, though he had heard Sasuke just fine. I said fine, help me out, said Sasuke, hating to have to ask for help. Okay, just give me a second, said Naruto as he made a shadow clone. The clone made the hand seals for the substitution jutsu, effectively switching places with Sasuke. Once the clone was done, it dispelled itself. What was that? Asked Sasuke, amazed. That was the substitution jutsu. It's a jutsu that allows the user to replace their own body with, started Naruto like he was teaching a class. At least until he was interrupted by Sasuke. I know what a substitution is, though. I was talking about the clone. Not only was it solid, but it was able to use jutsu, snapped Sasuke. Oh, that was just a shadow clone, said Naruto dismissively. He was really enjoying getting under Sasuke's skin. Teach it to me, Sasuke demanded. No, said Naruto pointedly. What? Asked Sasuke, getting mad. I said oh no, look Sasuke, even if I did teach it to you, you would need at least Chunin level chakra reserves to use it, stated Naruto, getting fed up. Are you saying you have Chunin level chakra reserves? Asked Sasuke disbelievingly. No Sasuke, I don't have Chunin level chakra reserves, said Naruto. I knew it, said Sasuke arrogantly. I have Kage level chakra reserves, said Naruto, stunning Sasuke. If you don't believe me, just ask the Hokage. Luckily Naruto was spared Sasuke's retort by Sakura waking up. Sasuke. Oh, thank Kami you're okay, squealed Sakura. Was his reply. Okay guys, listen, I have a plan that should allow all of us to pass this test, said Naruto. I don't need or want your help though, said Sasuke. Yeah. Sasuke-kun doesn't need your help, idiot, yelled Sasuke's #1 fan, in the hope of getting Sasuke's approval. There was the Sakura we all love to hate. And of course Sasuke just ignored her. Yeah, cause you both did so well against him on your own, said Naruto, getting fed up quickly. He continued before either could retort. Look, do you guys know who that is? That's Kakashi Hatake, copy Nin Kakashi, Kakashi of the Sharingan, one of the top Chunin in the village. The man was trained by the 4th Hokage, for crying out loud. Do you really think any of us stand a chance on our own? Said Naruto, getting both their attention, especially Sasuke's. What do you mean, Kakashi of the Sharingan? Asked Sasuke. What do you think he keeps hidden under that Hatake? Said Naruto, making Sasuke's eyes go wide. If he has the Sharingan, then Naruto is right, we don't stand a chance, said Sasuke. Glad to see you agree, said Naruto with a slight smile. So then what are we going to do? asked Sakura. Look, I don't think the bells really matter. I mean, think about it. Why would they put us in a team of 3, if they knew one of us was going to fail no matter what? They would have just made a 2-man team. And if that's the case, then why only 2 bell? Asked Naruto. To make us fight one another, said Sakura, slowly catching on. But why, what's the point? She asked. To make us miss the true meaning of the test, said Naruto. But what is the true meaning of the test? Asked Sakura. Teamwork, said Sasuke, catching on. The test is about teamwork. Right. The bells were just a red herring, to keep us from seeing the truth, said Naruto, glad they were getting it. So all we have to do to pass is work as a team, said Sasuke. But what if we are wrong? What then? Asked Sakura. That's where my plan comes in, said Naruto. And what is your plan? Asked Sasuke. Kakashi brought something with him today, something that he values as much as his own life, something that has no place on a battlefield, something that he wouldn't expect us to go after, said Naruto with an evil grin. Suddenly a memory of Kakashi putting a little book away as Sasuke fought him popped into Sasuke's head, as he too got an evil grin to match Naruto's. Let's do it, said Sasuke as he was looking forward to his revenge for Kakashi's little ass poke. Kakashi was back at the training logs. Time was just about up. Looks like another group of genin is going back to the academy, said Kakashi sadly. He had hoped this would be the group that finally made it. Suddenly Kakashi's danger sense went off. Jumped to the left as Kunai came flying at him. Spotting Sakura, he was about to go after her, when he heard another of his students yell out. Fire style, fireball jutsu, yelled Sasuke. As a fireball came right at Kakashi, thanks to Sakura's constant stream of kunai, he could only jump to the left again. He was about to start going hand signs when the rock behind him burst into smoke and one Uzumaki Naruto came flying out of it. Kakashi felt a hand go into his equipment pouch. Figuring Naruto was lunging for the bells and missed his mark, he spun around and grabbed Naruto and threw him toward the trees. It was at that moment that the alarm went off. The test was over. The 3 genin all came out and stood before Kakashi, who on the outside was scowling, but on the inside was jumping for joy. Finally a team who got it, a team worth training. Wanting to have a little fun with them, he continued to scowl. I'm shocked to see you 3 working together, but you still failed to get even a single bell off me. But since I'm feeling kind, I will give you one more chance after lunch. Naruto, since you did the worst out of all of you, having only come in at the last, you get tied to the post, said Kakashi, applauding his own acting skills, but little did he know that the last laugh was about to be on him. I don't think so, Kakashi-sensei. In fact, I think we all pass, said Naruto in a manner of someone who knew something you didn't. Oh, and why is that? Asked Kakashi, kind of unnerved by the 3 evil grins on the faces of the genin. At that moment Naruto held up Kakashi's most prized possession, his signed copy of Aika Aika. Kakashi reached into his equipment pouch, and indeed found that his book was gone. Because if you don't pass us, the book gets it, said Naruto, sticking an incendiary note on the book. What Kakashi didn't know was that when Naruto put his hand in Kakashi's equipment pouch, he had put a Hiraishin seal on the book. After Kakashi threw him, Naruto summoned the book out of the pouch. Kakashi, hoping to bluff his was out of this, said, What makes you think I care about some book? Oh, okay, then I guess you don't mind watching it burn, said Naruto, as acted like he was about to set the note off. Okay. You all pass. Just give me my book back, yelled Kakashi on his knees with tears in his eye. The genins were overjoyed. They were real ninja now, and Kakashi was overjoyed to have his book back. After checking it for damage, he stood up and said, Alright team, meet me here tomorrow for training and our first team mission. With that he left in a swirl of leaves. Leaving the genins to eat their lunches, Naruto the ramen he brought, and Sasuke and Sakura from the bento boxes Kakashi had brought. After eating for a few minuets, Naruto had a thought. Hey Sasuke, let me ask you something. Why didn't you use your Sharingan when you were fighting Kakashi? Asked Naruto, curious. Sasuke just mumbled something. What was that? I didn't hear you, asked Naruto. I said because I haven't awoken it yet, though, Sasuke snapped. That didn't sound right to Naruto. Shursui-sensei had once told Naruto that what awakened the Sharingan was the feeling of loss, and few had lost more than Sasuke. Have you ever tried sending chakra to your eyes? Asked Naruto. No, I haven't. Besides, I think I would know if I had awakened my Sharingan, said Sasuke, annoyed. You should try. What's the worst that could happen? said Naruto. Fine. If it gets you to shut up, I'll do it, said Sasuke, as he sent chakra to his eyes. Much to his surprise, his vision became so sharp he could see the smallest details of things. Not only that, but he could see chakra. What was going on? It was at that moment that Sakura's voice interrupted his thoughts. Sasuke, your eyes are red, said Sakura in shock. What? Yelled Sasuke as he ran to the river to look at his reflection. Sure enough, staring back at him were two red eyes with a tomo in each eye. The Sharingan, whispered a shocked Uchiha. The Hokage's office was full of jounin, all giving the Hokage a report on their teams. Hiruzen's side, it seemed teams 1 through 6 was going back to the academy, and once again Kakashi was nowhere to be seen. Hiruzen really wanted to know if Team 7 passed. He wanted so badly for Naruto to achieve his dream. Hiruzen had failed to stop the fear of the villagers from affecting Naruto's life. While Hiruzen's law prevented people from talking about the Kyuubi being sealed into Naruto, it did not stop kids from sensing their parents' fear and hatred of Naruto, and kids doing what kids do best, followed their parents' lead, making poor Naruto's life a living hell. If it had been up to Hiruzen, no one would have known about what Naruto had locked inside him. But the problem was that simply, too many had witnessed Minato sealing the fox into his son. By the time Hiruzen could make the law forbidding anyone to talk, it was already too late. Though few knew that Naruto was indeed Minato's son, Hiruzen had spread the lie that Kushina and her unborn child died in the fox attack. The irony was that the village mourned the loss of Minato's wife and child, while at the same time blaming Naruto for their deaths. It saddened Hiruzen that the only thing he was able to give Naruto of his parents was his mother's surname and clan patch, that he now wore on his left shoulder. Not that he knew what it was. Hiruzen had told him that it was found on his mother's body. The truth was that Hiruzen loved Naruto as much as he loved Konohamaru. So when Naruto said that he wanted to be Hokage one day, Hiruzen had sworn to himself that he would support Naruto's dream, even if he was the only one. And that above all else was why he had put Kakashi in charge of Team 7. Kakashi, despite all his quirks, was the best jounin in the village, and could teach Naruto much. Now if only he could move past the deaths of his team and family, and allow himself to care for his sensei's son. For you see, after the death of Minato, who was a father figure to Kakashi, Kakashi had come to believe he was a curse on all those he cared for, as he put it. Why else would they keep dying all around him? It was at that moment Kakashi walked in, spouting a lame excuse for late. Hiruzen's son Asuma was about to give his report, so Hiruzen focused back to the task at hand. Go ahead, Asuma, finish what you were saying, said Hiruzen. Team 10, consisting of Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi pass, said Asuma as he lit another cigarette. And what is your assessment of them? Said Hiruzen, curious as to the new generation of the Ino, Shika, Cho trio. Well, as you would expect from the kids of the previous Ino Shika Cho trio, they complement each other well as a team. However, they are not without problems. Ino is bossy, and tries to order the other two around, though if you look closely you can tell that she cares a great deal for them. Shikamaru is lazy, he would rather spend his time watching clouds than training. On the upside, I've begun to suspect he has inherited his father's intelligence. Choji lacks self-confidence, but is very kind-hearted. I also think he has a lot of hidden potential just waiting to be tapped into. Finished Asuma. Alright, keep me informed on their progress, said Hiruzen to his son. Will do, sir, replied Asuma. Alright, who's next? Asked Hiruzen. His son's girlfriend Kurenai Yuhi stepped up. Kurenai Yuhi reporting that teammate consisting of Kiba Inuzuka, his Nikin Akameru, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburame pass, said Kurenai. And your assessment of your team, Kurenai? Asked Hiruzen. My team's talents go well together as a tracking team and they get along well enough. Though there are a few problems that need to be worked on, said Kurenai. How so? Asked Hiruzen. Well, for instance, Kiba has an alpha male personality. He sees himself as the leader of the team. The problem with this is he sees his teammate Shino as a rival for the position of top dog, so to speak. Shino, on the other hand, is very silent, will only really speak when spoken to. But given what clans they're from, it's to be expected. In truth, the only real surprise was Hinata, said Kurenai. Hiruzen raised his eyebrows in a sign for her to explain. Well, I've known Hinata for some time now, and she has always been shy, very timid, and lacked confidence in herself. She would always avoid confrontations or eye contact, said Kurenai, like she was trying to solve a mystery. And now? Asked Hiruzen. Now it's like she is way more confident. She looks you in the eye when she talks to you, she doesn't stutter nearly as much, and today she even said, Kurenai trailing off. She what? Asked the Hokage. Well, like I said, Hinata used to always avoid confrontation. But during the test today her jacket got ripped up, where she was forced to remove it. After they had finished the test, Hinata caught Kiba staring at her chest. Now in the past this would have embarrassed her to the point of passing out. But today it just made her upset. In fact, it made her so upset that she gave Kiba a chakra-enhanced slap to the face that sent Kiba flying. Finished Kurenai. The Hokage and the other Jounin in the room were shocked to say the least. Okay Kurenai, I want you to keep an eye on it. Let me know if you notice anything else out of the ordinary. Ordered Hiruzen. Yes, sir, said Kurenai. Alright Kakashi, it seems you're next in line, said Hiruzen, more than a little anxious to hear how Naruto had done. Team 7 consisting of Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki pass, said Kakashi in his normal lazy voice, shocking all the Jounin. It was a well-known fact that Kakashi never passed a single team. Go on, said Hiruzen, silently happy for Naruto. Well, after a rough start they pulled together and worked as a team to take me on, said Kakashi. Was it the Uchiha that figured it out? Asked Asuma, fully expecting the Rookie of the Year to be the one who lead the other two to victory, and he wasn't the only one. Most of the Jounin in the room thought the same. So imagine their surprise at the next words out of Kakashi's mouth. Actually, it was Naruto, stated Kakashi, quite enjoying the looks he was getting. The silence in the room was deafening. Asuma's cigarette even fell out of his mouth. Explain, said Hiruzen. Naruto was the only one who noticed that something wasn't right about the test. And he correctly deduced that the only way to pass was to work as a team. Instead of fighting me for a bell, he spent most of his time trying to convince the other two to work with him. If it wasn't for him, they would have failed miserably, said Kakashi. What's more, Naruto was the only one smart enough to disregard my advice not to eat breakfast. He also thought to bring his own lunch that he sealed into a scroll, and instead of standing around waiting for me to show up. Once he figured out that I was going to be late, offered to let the other to sleep while he kept watch for me. All in all, I'm forced to conclude that the academy record was way off about his intelligence and skill. Finished Kakashi. So you believe he is hiding something? Said Hiruzen, not really asking. Yes, said Kakashi simply. Sighing once again, Hiruzen, figuring it was better to err on the side of caution, grabbed his crystal ball. Let's see if we can't see for ourselves what it is, said Hiruzen, as all the Jounin gathered around the crystal. What they saw shocked them, and it also brought a smile to Hiruzen's weathered face. If you looked into the ball, you would see Naruto pushing Hinata on a tree swing, smiling like all was right with the world, while Hinata laughed, enjoying spending time with him. It would seem you were right, Kakashi. Naruto was hiding something, said Hiruzen, amused, as he put his crystal away. And I believe that would explain Hinata acting so differently as well, Kurenai. Finished the third Hokage. Kurenai just nodded her head, too stunned to speak. She had known of Hinata's crush on the blonde Jinchuriki, but she had not known the two were so close. When had this happened? Well, if that is all, you're dismissed, said Hiruzen to the Jounin in the room. As they left, Hiruzen couldn't help but think that Naruto really was full of surprises. Little did he know that the biggest surprise was yet to come. Break. So you caught Kiba staring at your chest? Asked Naruto as he pushed Hinata on a swing. Yeah, it made me so mad, said Hinata, enjoying having Naruto push her in the swing, while she talked about her day. She wondered if this is what it would be like to date Naruto. So would you like me to kick his ass for you? Asked Naruto, smiling. This made Hinata laugh. They were both unaware that at that moment, they were being spied on by an old man in a room full of Jounin. No thank you, Naruto. When I caught him, I might have gave him a chakra-enhanced slap to the face, said Hinata kind of shyly. This made Naruto laugh. I kind of feel bad for it, to tell the truth, said Hinata, thinking maybe she had been too hard on Kiba. Naruto just shook his head, amused. Don't feel bad, Hinata. Kiba is your teammate now, and he needs to learn to respect you as a woman, said Naruto, backing Hinata's actions. If you let a guy get away with that once, they'll do it again. Naruto finished. I guess you're right, Naruto, said Hinata as Naruto pushed her forward once again. And when am I not? Asked Naruto in fake arrogance. Careful, Naruto, if your head gets any bigger you might float away, said Hinata, playing along, turning to give Naruto a mock glare. Then they both burst out laughing. So Hinata, I was wondering if you wanted to train together sometime? Asked Naruto. I would love to, Naruto, answered Hinata with her brightest smile yet. Could this day get any better? Thought Hinata. Her and Naruto were now friends. She had passed her genin test, and now Naruto wanted to train with her. No, she didn't think it could. Break. A few hours later saw Naruto walking to the Hokage's office, having come to the decision to tell the old man everything. The way he saw it, if his Rinnegan ever came to light, he was going to need the old man's support. So with that he knocked on the old man's door. Hiruzen was currently talking to Kakashi. They were discussing one Sasuke Uchiha, who it appeared had awoken his Sharingan. What's more, Sasuke knew of Kakashi's Sharingan. So you're saying Sasuke found you and asked you about the Sharingan Obito gave you? Asked Hiruzen. Well, he didn't know how I got my Sharingan, said Kakashi. Do you know how he found out about it? Asked Hiruzen, starting to feel a headache coming. Naruto told him, said Kakashi seriously. Yep, defiantly a headache. Hiruzen thought to himself, how the hell would Naruto have found out about Kakashi's Sharingan? I am beginning to think you are right about Naruto hiding something, Kakashi, said Hiruzen, rubbing his temples. Before Kakashi could say anything in return, there came a knock at the door. Enter, said Hiruzen with a sigh. And who should walk in? None other than the genin they were discussing, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto, what are you doing here? Asked the third Hokage curiously. Hey old man, can we talk? Asked Naruto. Sure. Kakashi, you can go ahead and go, said Hiruzen, hoping Naruto was here to discuss whatever he had been hiding. Kakashi should stay, old man, it's actually good he's here, saves me having to tell him later, said Naruto. Okay Naruto, what is it you wish to discuss? Asked Hiruzen. You will probably wish for this conversation to remain private, old man, said Naruto, seriously motioning toward a hidden ANBU in the corner. Shocking Hiruzen and Kakashi, that Naruto had noticed the ANBU in the room. What could you want to discuss that would need the ANBU in the room to leave? Asked Hiruzen, feeling nervous for some reason. At that, Naruto got a look in his eyes that the aged Hokage had never seen in them before. It was the look of a true shinobi. The next words out of Naruto's mouth made the Hokage's heart skip a beat, and Kakashi's eye widen. Minato Namikaze, Kushina Uzumaki, and the Sage of the Six Paths, said Naruto in a voice more serious than any he had ever used. Making a motion for the ANBU to leave, the Hokage activated a seal on his desk, and looked Naruto dead in the eye and said one word. Explain, said the god of shinobi. And so Naruto did. He held nothing back as he told them all about how the sage had come to him and gifted Naruto with his power, about his year of training, about who had trained him, everything. To say that Kakashi and Hiruzen were shocked was like saying that Orochimaru was only a little creepy. So you're saying that not only do you have the first ever Dijutsu, but you spent a year in some time chamber being trained by some of the most powerful shinobi who ever lived? Asked Hiruzen in disbelief. Pretty much, old man, said Naruto as he activated his Rinnegan, showing to Kakashi and the Hokage. Amazing, and you said it has all the powers of the Sharingan? Asked Kakashi. Yes, that and so much more, said Naruto. Can you prove the other part of the story, something your mother or father might have told you to prove it was really them? Asked Hiruzen. At this, Naruto got an evil grin on his face that he only ever wore when he was about to pull a prank, making Hiruzen believe he was about to regret asking. One time my mom and dad walked in on you and your wife going at it on your desk, said Naruto, making the Hokage go red and Kakashi to burst out laughing. But the worst was yet to come. What was it she called you? Her big strong monkey man, said Naruto. By this time Kakashi was on the floor rolling. Okay, I believe you, said Hiruzen in a hurry. Glaring at Kakashi, he said, you can stop now, Kakashi. Oh, that was great. I so needed that, said Kakashi, recovering. So Naruto, I take it you want to keep this secret for now, said Hiruzen, getting back to business. Yes sir, the longer no one knows the better. Shursui sensei told me of how someone on your advisory council named Danzo attacked him and took one of his eyes, said Naruto, shocking the Hokage. Danzo did what? Yelled Hiruzen. He should have known his old rival would do something like this. Then a thought hit him out of nowhere. Did Shursui tell you anything else? Asked Hiruzen nervously. He told me everything, old man, said Naruto, looking Hiruzen in the eye so he would know what he was talking about, without having to say it out loud in front of Kakashi, who Naruto was sure didn't know the truth of the Uchiha massacre. Hiruzen nodded his head sadly, giving Naruto a look that said, they'll talk about it later. Is there anything else you wish to discuss, Naruto? Asked the Hokage. No, that should be just about everything. Well, actually there is one other thing, my parents' house, said Naruto. I was wondering if you were going to ask about that, said the Hokage with a smile as he reached into his desk and removed a set of keys. I assume you know where it is? Asked the Hokage. Naruto just nodded. Tossing the keys to Naruto, the Hokage couldn't help but be proud of Naruto. He had come so far in such a short time. They would be proud of you, you know, said Hiruzen. I know, Hokage-sama, said Naruto, smiling at the man he saw as a grandfather, and showing him the proper respect for the first time. I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you tomorrow, sensei, said Naruto as he left the office, heading back to his apartment to start packing. One thing about Naruto that will never change is that he will always surprise you, thought Hiruzen as both he and Kakashi watched Naruto leave. Break. It had been a month now since the bell test, and since that fateful meeting with the Hokage. This is Sasuke at point C, said Sasuke into the radio. This is Sakura at point B, said Sakura. This is Naruto at point A, target is in sight, said Naruto. A right team move on my order, said Kakashi into his radio. Target is the move, said Naruto. All right team now, said Kakashi. Kakashi walked up to his team, seeing them covered in claw marks, and looking quite fed up. Mission retrieve lost cat Tora is complete, said Kakashi, as they walked into the mission office where the Hokage and Tora's owner Madame Shirjimi, the wife of the fire daimyo, was. Oh my baby Tora, mommy was so worried. Yes she was, said the fire daimyo's wife. Naruto was taking a vindictive pleasure in watching Madame Shirjimi squeeze that hell spawn of a cat. And from the looks on Sasuke and Sakura's faces, he wasn't the only one. Alright Team 7, for your next mission, we have babysitting, gardening, painting a fence. Before Hiruzen could finish, they heard a loud yell. Tora, come back here, yelled Madame Shirjimi. And retrieving the lost cat Tora, finished the Hokage. Now Naruto wasn't going to complain, really he wasn't. He was going to do these stupid D ranks, like a mature, responsible adult. That was at least until the old man brought up finding that damn cat again. No, and no. I've had it up to here with these stupid D ranks. They're not missions, they're choirs. I want a real mission, said Naruto, losing it. Though they didn't voice it, both Sasuke and Sakura agreed with Naruto. How dare you! You're just a brand new genin, with no experience. Like everyone else, you start with simple missions to improve your skills and prove yourself, yelled Irika. I'm not that same brat I used to be, Irika-sensei. I've changed a lot. What's more, I truly think my team and I are ready for a real mission, said Naruto, calming down. Kakashi, what do you think? Asked the Hokage. Kakashi thought about it. Between Naruto's Rinnegan and Sasuke's Sharingan, Kakashi thought they could handle it. In fact, the only weak link was Sakura, but it would only be a C-rank mission. Plus, he would be there to make sure things went okay. I believe they are ready. Their teamwork has been improving by leaps and bounds. They should be able to handle a simple C-rank, said Kakashi, not knowing that this C-rank was going to be anything but simple. Alright Team 7, your mission is to act as bodyguards for a bridge builder from the Land of Waves. Send him in now, said Hiruzen. A couple seconds later, a man drinking a bottle of sake walked in. This is all I get, a group of worthless kids and a scarecrow, said the man with a drunken slur. Naruto, not liking being called worthless, was behind the man in a millisecond, holding a kunai to the man's throat, shocking Sasuke and Sakura with his speed. Fast, was all Sakura could think. Where did the dope get that kind of speed? Thought Sasuke, angry because he knew that even he could not move that fast. Just who was Uzumaki Naruto? Naruto, we don't kill our clients, said Kakashi in a slightly scolding yet somehow still bored voice. I wasn't going to kill him, just teach him a little lesson, said Naruto, leaking a little killing intent at the drunkard, making him sweat. Insulting a shinobi, even the younger ones, can be bad for your health, said Naruto in a deadly whisper. Naruto put away his kunai and went to stand beside his team. The old man cleared his throat, trying to save a little bit of face. He said, My name is Tazuna and I am a super bridge builder from Wave, and I expect super protection, even if it means your life. Finished the man we now know as Tazuna, giving Naruto a wide berth. If that boy is anything to judge by, this just may work after all, thought Tazuna. Okay team, go home, pack for a month, and get a good night's sleep. Be at the West Gate at 8 a.m. sharp tomorrow morning, said Kakashi as the genin left to do as instructed, unaware that this one mission would change their lives forever. Naruto awoke the next morning feeling ready for his first true mission as a shinobi. Looking around his new house, Naruto still couldn't believe it now belonged to him. His parents' house was a modest 5-room 2-bath house. While not overly large, it was still way bigger than anything Naruto was used to. The first night he stayed here, he cried when he saw the nursery his parents had prepared for him. The nursery that baby Naruto would never see. Naruto had taken the master bedroom as his own. He didn't think his parents would mind. Though he now avoided that nursery, it was too much of a reminder of the life that was stolen from him. What Naruto liked most about the master bedroom was the picture of his parents on their wedding day. His mom looked so beautiful, and by looking at his dad Naruto could tell just from whom he got his goofy grin. There were lots of pictures in the house, but Naruto would always cherish this one and one other the most. The other picture was when his mom must have been about 8 months along, beaming as the picture was taken. After showering and dressing, Naruto grabbed a scroll that he sealed the things he would need for the mission and put it in his jacket. Strapping Zanpakuto to his back, Naruto grabbed a quick bite to eat then headed to meet his team at the gate. Arriving at the gate, Naruto was in for a slight shock. Kakashi was on time. Guess his dad had been right, Kakashi did only show up on time to missions. After a few more minutes everyone was there. "Alright team, everyone packed and ready?" asked Kakashi. "Yes sensei," echoed the 3 genin. Kakashi, noticing something, asked, "Naruto, where is your pack?" Naruto pulled his sealing scroll out of his jacket and showed it to his sensei. "Ah, okay," said Kakashi as they started walking. Naruto put the scroll back into his jacket. Sakura, seeing this, was curious, so she asked, "What's that scroll got to do with your pack, Naruto?" "That scroll is my pack, Sakura. Backpacks are bulky and restrict movement. So to solve that problem I seal everything I need into a scroll," said Naruto. "You seal it?" asked Sakura, surprised that Naruto could do something so advanced. While she knew that Naruto had changed, it still threw her off sometimes to see just how much he had changed. "Why so surprised, Sakura? Sealing was the Uzumaki clan's specialty," said Naruto, shocking Sakura and Sasuke, though the latter refused to show it. Still, Sasuke was now paying attention. "I didn't know there is an Uzumaki clan," said Sakura, causing Naruto to develop a tick mark. "That's what really ticks me off. Every Konoha shinobi wears my clan's symbol and 90% of them don't even know it. And to correct you, Sakura, there used to be an Uzumaki clan," said Naruto, starting out angry but growing sad at the end of his sentence. Now he really had Sasuke's attention. "What do you mean, Naruto?" asked Sakura, referring to both parts. "Well, on the first part, the Uzumaki were cousins of the Senju, and close allies. As a sign of friendship between the Uzumaki and the Senju and their respective villages, the Senju put the Uzumaki swirl in the symbol of the leaf," said Naruto, pointing at the leaf symbol on his Hittite. "They also put it on the shoulders of the leaf uniform and back of our flak jackets," said Kakashi, joining in on the convert-ion. "In fact, the first Hokage married my aunt twice, removed Mito Uzumaki, making me loosely related to Lady Tsunade of the Sannin," said Naruto. Sakura was shocked beyond words. She, like every kunoichi, knew who Lady Tsunade was. To hear that Naruto was related to her, albeit distantly, was stunning. Sasuke, on the other hand, was not happy to hear all this. He was forced once again to admit that he knew next to nothing about his rival. Not only had Naruto been showing skills, and boy did Sasuke hate to admit this, even to just himself, far superior to his own. But to find out that not only did Naruto belong to a clan, but that he had apparently lost his clan, made Sasuke realize that he and Naruto had more in common than just being lonely. Naruto, unaware of his teammates' thoughts, continued speaking. "And as for the second, all I really know is that Iwa and Kumo teamed up and attacked my clan's village and laid waste to it, all but wiping out my clan. My mother was in Konoha at the time, which is why she survived, well, long enough to have me anyways," said Naruto in a sad voice. He didn't really like talking about this, but he was trying to give his teammate a chance, so he was being honest with them. "Why would they do that, Naruto?" asked Sakura. "My clan's Fuinjutsu became feared in the First and Second War, so when it became apparent that a third war was inevitable, they took my clan and its village out of the equation," said Naruto. Sakura bowed her head, thinking about how sad Naruto's mother must have been to lose not only her clan but her entire village as well. Sasuke was wondering just how strong the Uzumaki clan must have been if it took 2 of the great 5 shinobi villages to destroy them, when it only took his brother to destroy his. Is it because Naruto's clan was so strong, or was brother really that powerful? Why did it take only one man to kill my whole clan? Thought Sasuke. After that the group fell into silence, each lost in their own thoughts. A few hours later Naruto was passing the time by singing a song under his breath, when he noticed something strange. She's following me. She's out of her tree. She's off of her rocker. I want to marry my stalker. Mumbled Naruto, bored out of his mind. That was until he saw a puddle of water in the road. It hasn't rained in weeks. What's that puddle doing there? Unless, thought Naruto as he got ready. Just after Kakashi passed the puddle, two shinobi sprang out of it and wrapped a bladed chain around Kakashi, tearing him to pieces. Naruto didn't have time to worry about whether or not his sensei was dead, for the two shinobi were already on the move, heading right toward him. Deciding now wasn't the time to hold back, as he didn't have time to gauge their strength. Naruto pulled out a tri-pronged kunai not seen by shinobi in 13 years. He threw the kunai in the center of the chain, locking it into a tree. Sasuke, who was about to do the same thing, watched as Naruto beat him to the punch, throwing some kind of strange kunai into the chain. What he saw next really shocked not only him but everyone watching, which unbeknownst to them also included Kakashi, who was up in a tree. Naruto, using the Hiraishin, appeared on the assassin's outstretched arms with Zanpakuto already drawn. Using the sword's main ability to cut the soul without damaging the flesh, Naruto swung the sword through the arms that he was standing on, causing them to fall limply to the side of the two shinobi. The two shinobi screamed in pain as their arms fell useless. Kakashi, figuring that he had learned all he was going to, appeared behind the two would-be assassins, knocking them out. "Kakashi-sensei, you're okay," said Sakura, relieved. Naruto and Sasuke just breathed a small sigh of relief at seeing their sensei alive. Looking over at where Kakashi had died, Naruto saw a choked-up log. Substitution, should have known, thought Naruto. Sorry if I worried you, Sakura. I needed to try to find out who their target was. Plus, I wanted to see how you three would handle the situation. I must say I'm proud of the three of you. Sakura, you, despite your fear, jumped in front of our client, ready to give your life for the mission, like a true kunoichi, said Kakashi, smiling at Sakura, making her blush at his praise. Naruto, Sasuke, I am also proud of the two of you. Naruto, you reacted quick and decisively, disabling but not killing the assassins, so they could be interrogated later. And Sasuke, you two were ready to go on the offensive, should Naruto have failed. All in all, good job, everyone. Finished Kakashi, before turning to look at Tazuna. Mind telling me why you have shinobi after you, Mr. Tazuna? Asked Kakashi. Just what are you trying to say? Said Tazuna, trying to play dumb. If I had been their target, they would have left when they thought I was dead. None of my genin have ever left the village, so these two would have no reason to go after them. That only leaves you. So again I ask you, why are they after you? Said Kakashi with a hard edge to his voice. And so Tazuna, figuring that he was caught, told them all about how Wave's shipping lanes had been taken over by a tyrant named Gato, who was sucking the life out of the country, and how Tazuna's bridge was his country's only hope of overthrowing Gato, making Tazuna a marked man. So you see, my country has become poor. We simply didn't have the money for a higher-ranked mission, said Tazuna desperately. All the same, you lied about the scope of this mission, thereby voiding the contract we have with you. This mission is now a B rank or higher. If we had known that from the start, we would have staffed this mission differently, with more experienced shinobi. By all rights, we should turn around and head back to the village, said Kakashi. This mission is beyond us, Mr. Tazuna. We're just genin, we don't have the experience for this kind of mission, said Sakura, though she didn't like the thought of leaving a man to die. You're right, you should head back. I'll just go on without you. If I die, it's not your fault. Of course my grandson will cry. And my widowed daughter will be sad, probably cursing the Leaf Shinobi as cowards, for abandoning her father to die. But it's not your problem, said Tazuna, trying to play on their sympathy, and guilt them into continuing the mission. At that point Naruto, who had been listening, spoke. Even though he knew what Tazuna was trying to do, he still would not abandon the mission. I'm not going to leave him to die, sensei, said Naruto, shocking everyone once again, something that was becoming more and more common. Naruto, I understand how you feel, but Sakura tried to speak, only to be interrupted by Naruto. No, Sakura, you don't understand. I all but begged old man Hokage for this mission. If I were to abandon it now, the shame would be so great I would have to commit seppuku, just to be rid of it, said Naruto, making Kakashi think briefly of his own father. Look, you three can leave if you want, but I'm going to stay and see this mission through, even if it costs me my life, finished Naruto. With Naruto, we wanted to prove ourselves as shinobi. How are we supposed to do that if we run away just because the mission got harder? Plus, I won't let an innocent man die just to save my own life, said Sasuke, for once in complete agreement with his rival. Hearing Sasuke agree with Naruto, combined with her own dislike of leaving Tazuna to die, was enough for Sakura to change her mind. Well, I can't let the two of you go off on your own. Without me, Who knows what kind of trouble you would get into? Said Sakura, trying to lighten the mood, causing Naruto to smile and Sasuke to smirk. Kakashi truly was proud of his students. If they wanted to continue with the mission despite knowing the danger, who was he to stop them? Well, it seems we are all in agreement, said Kakashi, smiling at his students. Looking at Tazuna, he spoke. Alright, Tazuna, we will see this mission through. But you will have to pay the full price of an A-rank mission as soon as you are able, said Kakashi. Tazuna, who was touched by what the genin had said, bowed his head. You have my word, as soon as we get the money you will have it, said Tazuna, slightly choked up. Alright, let's tie those two up, and be on our way, said Kakashi, and they did just that. As soon as the demon brothers were tied up, the group made tracks. Later that evening, as the group made camp for the night, they were all sitting around the fire eating, when Sasuke had a thought. Hey Naruto, can I ask you something? Asked Sasuke, catching himself before he called Naruto Dobe. Naruto, catching the slip, but deciding to let it slide, said sure. What is it? When you used your sword on those shinobi, your sword passed right through their arms without cutting them. And afterwards their arms just seemed to stop working. Why is that? Asked Sasuke, catching everyone else's attention, as they too wanted to know. My sword's name is Zanpakuto, it means soul cutter, and that's exactly what it does, cuts the soul leaving the flesh unharmed. According to my clan's legends, it used to belong to the Shinigami, and that when you kill someone with it, their soul is sent to the Shinigami. Now it can cut flesh if I will it to, and it can do a few other things. But those are clan secrets. I am actually showing you guys a lot of trust just telling you this much, said Naruto, mixing lies and half-truths. Sasuke, who was from a clan, understood clan secrets, and let it drop, and asked something else that had been bothering him. What about when they fist attacked? My Sharingan didn't even see you move, yet you went from where you were standing to standing on the arms of the attackers in the blink of an eye. Even if you were moving super fast, my Sharingan should have still seen you move, said Sasuke, looking intently at Naruto. Naruto cursed his own stupidity. He had forgotten about Sasuke's Sharingan. He had been planning to lie and say he had been just moving really fast if anyone asked him about it. Naruto looked at Kakashi for guidance, only to see the man shrug as if to say, it's your secret. Coming to a decision, Naruto spoke. Alright, what I'm about to tell you is an S-class secret. You cannot tell a soul no matter what, okay? Said Naruto, getting nods from both Sasuke and Sakura. Looking at Kakashi, Naruto asked. Would you do the honors, sensei? Said Naruto, getting a nod from Kakashi, who stepped in front of Tazuna and lifted his hitai. The next thing they knew, the man was snoring. Don't worry, Naruto, he'll wake up tomorrow and won't remember a thing, said Kakashi. Naruto went through some hand seals and slammed his hand on the ground, putting up a soundproof barrier. Alright, what you saw me do was the Hiraishin no Jutsu. It was the 4th Hokage's signature jutsu, and was the reason he had the name the Yellow Flash. Because when using this jutsu he would appear and disappear so fast that all people would see is a flash of his yellow hair, said Naruto, preparing for the question that he knew was coming. But why would you know a jutsu of the 4th Hokage, Naruto? Asked Sakura. Not disappointing. Let me ask you something, Sakura. Did you know that the 4th Hokage had a wife? Asked Naruto, looking at Sakura. Sakura really didn't see what this had to do with anything, but being the bookworm she was, answered anyways. Yes, his wife was Kushin and Namikaze. She died in the Ninetales attack, said Sakura. And do you know what her maiden name was? Asked Naruto. No, it was never written in any books. Why are you asking, Naruto? Sakura asked. Her maiden name was Uzumaki. Sakura, Kushina Uzumaki. She was my mother, said Naruto. Sakura and Sasuke were now wide-eyed. Why you mean why you're the said Sakura, unable to say what she wanted to. The son of the 4th Hokage? Yes, I am, said Naruto to a stunned Sasuke and Sakura. Hayashi Hyuga sat in his study in his house looking at a picture, and not just any picture. It was the last picture he would ever get to be in, with his beloved wife. She departed this life just a few short months after this picture was taken. In the picture you could see Hayashi standing with his arms crossed with a frown on his face. 2 feet to his side was his wife holding a baby Hanabi in her arms. She had a warm, soft smile on her face as she held on to the new life they had created. In between her parents was a tiny Hinata, all smiles and blushes. He remembered how excited his oldest had been when she found out that she would be a big sister. Flashback. Hayashi was going to check on Hanabi, who had been put in her crib for a nap. As he neared the door to the nursery, he heard the soft voice of his oldest, Creeping slowly to the door, he peeked inside. What he saw warmed his heart. His oldest daughter was looking at her baby sister with eyes full of wonder. Hayashi focused his ears to hear what his daughter was saying. "I'm gonna always look after you, baby sister, don't worry, big sister's here," said Hinata in her childlike voice. Hayashi, not wanting to disturb the cute scene, activated his Byakugan so he could keep an eye on them as he went to his study to get some work done. End flashback. If Hayashi had only known that this picture would be the last they would ever have as full family, he would have smiled, he would have held his family in his arms, and he would have let his wife know just how much she meant to him. If the loss of his brother had been hard, then the loss of his wife had been unbearable. Some mornings the only reason Hayashi could even get out of his bed was his 2 daughters. His greatest fear was that he would lose them too. Most people would believe that he didn't care for his oldest at all, that he thought of Hinata as a hopeless failure. This couldn't be further from the truth. You see, Hayashi had lived and fought in the Third War and still bore the scars of that horrible time. One of which was the loss of a good friend and teammate Shiba Inuzuka, who much like Hinata was very soft-hearted. And it had cost him his life when he spared a man, just to have that man stab him in the back. Hayashi would not lose his daughter like that. So Hayashi turned cold and acted as he did in the hope to hardening Hinata, and to drive her to prove him wrong. But much to Hayashi's dismay, it only seemed to make matters worse. It was then he thought that maybe what was wrong was Hinata lacked a mother figure in her life, so in an act of desperation he had went to the Hokage and requested the aid of a kunoichi to mentor to Hinata. The Hokage had been kind and gave Kurenai Yuhi a long-term C-rank mission to look after Hinata and to mentor to her. But it would seem that even that was destined for failure, for as great as Kurenai was, she was not Hinata's mother. It was then that Hayashi had begun to truly lose hope, and so he focused on the daughter he could save. And so things have continued like that, with Hinata being shy, timid, self-conscious, and entirely too gentle. And with Hayashi focusing all his attention on training Hanabi, who under his tutelage had started to become a fierce fighter. While Hanabi was a polite and respectful girl, when she was fighting she became a whole different person. She would become cold, calculating, and would do or say whatever she thought would best get to her opponent. Which is what has led to Hayashi being in his study. He had noticed about a month back that Hinata had begun to change. She no longer looked down when she talked, she would not stuttered, she carried herself straighter. All in all, she was becoming the girl Hayashi had always hoped she would become. Wondering what could have succeeded where he had failed, he had sent Ko to follow her. What Ko had reported shocked him to say the least. Flashback. Hayashi was sitting at his desk when he heard a knock at the door. "Enter," said Hayashi, only to see Ko enter the room. "Lord Hayashi, I followed Lady Hinata as you requested," said Ko, bowing low. "What did you find out, Ko?" asked Hayashi. Lady Hinata left her team after completing her mission and team training for the day, after which she went to Ichiraku Ramen and made a to-go order for 6 things of miso and pork ramen. After receiving her order, Lady Hinata walked to a clearing not far from the Shinobi Academy. Upon entering, she sat her food down and began to do stretches, said Ko. "What happened next?" asked Hayashi, to a now nervous-looking Ko, making Hayashi wonder what he could be nervous about telling him. "After working out for about 30 minutes, she was joined in the clearing by Uzumaki Naruto," said Ko, looking down, awaiting an outburst of anger. Hayashi was deep in thought. Like most other people who knew Hinata, Hayashi was aware of Hinata's crush on the boy. Hayashi had never said anything, because the boy was oblivious to his daughter's feelings, like most boys were at that age. Now let it be known that Hayashi did not the hate boy because he thought he was the Ninetales. Hayashi was not stupid, he knew the boy and the fox were 2 different beings. No, Hayashi did not hate the boy at all. But Hayashi did think the boy was a wild hooligan, and not someone deserving of his daughter. Hayashi decided to hear out the rest of the story, then he would figure out how to deal with this. "Go ahead and finish, Ko," said Hayashi with a stony expression. Ko, swallowing nervously, continued his report. After she was joined by Uzumaki, they sat down and ate the ramen. As they talked, Uzumaki told her that he would be leaving on a C-rank mission for a month, and would not be able to train with her as he had to go pack, but had wanted to let her know before he went. Lady Hinata looked sad by the thought of him leaving, but said that she was happy he was getting a mission to prove himself. After they finished eating, they hugged goodbye. After the Uzumaki had left, Lady Hinata came back to the compound and is currently in her room. Finished, Ko. "So he hugged my daughter, did he?" thought Hayashi furiously. "No! I will not allow that boy to be around my daughter. She is too good for him," thought Hayashi. Making the same mistake fathers have been making since the beginning of time, to try and control who their teenage daughters fall in love with. Hayashi asked Kyo to fetch Hinata for him. A few minutes later, Hayashi heard his oldest knock on his study door. "Enter," said Hayashi in his trademark stoic voice. "You asked to see me, father?" said Hinata, wondering what she had done to get summoned by her father. "Yes, come in and shut the door. There is something I wish to discuss with you," said Hayashi, as Hinata did as she was told, unaware that a moment later a little girl would be passing by and decide to eavesdrop. "What is it that you wish to discuss with me, father?" asked Hinata as she stood in front of her father's desk. What she heard next made her heart sink to her feet. "I know who you have been hanging around with, after team meetings, Hinata," said Hayashi with a slight edge to his voice, a testament to just how upset he really was. "Father, let me explain," Hinata tried to say, only to be interrupted by her father. "Silence," snapped Hayashi, causing Hinata to close her mouth. "You may not be the heiress of this clan anymore, but you are still a member of the main house. And as such, you cannot be seen with riffraff like Uzumaki Naruto. He is bad news, Hinata, and will only bring you down," said Hayashi, trying to calm down. He knew he was hurting his daughter and hated himself for it, but one day she would see that he only had her best interest at heart. "Be but F, father, please," said, trying to fight the tears in her eyes and failing. She was once again interrupted by her father. "No, Hinata. As your father and head of the clan, I forbid you to associate with Uzumaki Naruto any further. From now on, you are to come home after training. If you have need to go someplace, a member of the branch house will accompany. You are to come home and focus on your juken. Is that understood?" said Hayashi, allowing no room for argument. "Yes, Hayashi-sama," said Hinata with something in her voice that Hayashi had never heard there before, hatred. Hayashi, hoping that his daughter was just angry and would get over it in time, decided to let her vent in a constructive way. By sparring with her sister. The way he saw it, whatever Hinata threw at Hanabi, Hanabi as the stronger of the two could handle it. Oh, how wrong he was. While the spar between the two sisters started out like most, with Hinata on the defensive while Hanabi attacked. What Hayashi did not understand was that Hinata just didn't want to hurt her baby sister. At least that was until Hanabi, hoping to inspire her big sister to fight back and maybe impress their father for once, started to provoke Hinata. Hanabi loved her big sister with all her heart, as Hinata was the only person who treated her like a girl, and not as the future head of the clan. Hinata would always take time out of her day to play doll or dress up with Hanabi. Hanabi wanted nothing more than her sister's happiness, and having overheard Hinata's meeting with their father, thought that if their father was impressed with Hinata's fighting, he might let her see her crush. So with that in mind, she said something that nearly cost her dearly. Hinata was picking herself off the floor when she heard something that made her insides boil, and unbeknown to her, her father inwardly cringe. "Your pathetic sister, just like that loser boyfriend of yours. It's a good thing you can't see him no more. Maybe now you can find someone worthy of a Hyuga," said Hanabi, hoping her big sister would one day forgive her for that. Hinata saw red. She could handle someone insulting her, but she wouldn't let anyone call Naruto pathetic. Hinata assumed a stance and spoke 11 words that had Hayashi running to block Hinata from getting to her sister. "You're in my field of divination. 8 trigrams 32 palms," yelled Hinata, summoning every ounce of anger and hatred she had felt for the last 8 years. She ran at her sister to deliver the first 2 palms. 2 palms, yelled Hinata, but before she could hit her sister, her father appeared before her. "Kaiten," said Hayashi, block his daughter from getting to her sister. But Hinata was not through yet. Picking herself off the floor, Hinata looked at her father. Suddenly it was not Hanabi she was mad at, it was him. Hinata thought of everything he ever put her through, but most importantly she thought of her friendship with Naruto, a friendship that would now never be allowed to develop into something more. Hinata did something that would shock and amaze Hayashi for years to come. "Shadow Clone Jutsu," said Hinata, creating a clone of herself. The clone began to spin chakra in Hinata's hand, forming a jutsu that Hayashi had not seen in almost 13 years. "Rinnegan!" screamed Hinata as she charged her father. Hayashi was so shocked by seeing his daughter use the 4th jutsu that he almost didn't create a Kaiten in time. The 2 powerful jutsus met in a violent clash. Had Hinata had time to perfect the Rinnegan, the backlash from these 2 jutsu clashing might have destroyed the dojo they were in. Luckily Hinata had not perfected it yet. Add to the fact that Hinata was low on chakra and you get a Kaiten emerging victorious. Hinata was thrown across the room and knocked unconscious. Panting slightly, Hayashi looked at his youngest, who was looking at her sister in wide-eyed shock. "Hanabi, take your sister to her room and have a medic take a look at her," said Hayashi, but Hanabi continued to stare at Hinata. "Hanabi," yelled Hayashi, getting his youngest to snap out of it. Yes, father? Asked Hanabi, snapping out of her shock. She couldn't believe her sister was really that strong. Had her big sister always held back against her? And if so, why? I said take your sister to her room and have a medic look at her, repeated Hayashi. Yes, father, said Hanabi, doing as she was told. After Hanabi had left with her sister, Hayashi allowed the shock he was feeling to come to the surface. Falling to the floor, Hayashi shook slightly. Did his daughter really care so much for Naruto Uzumaki that she was willing to use 8 trigrams 32 palms on Hanabi, just because the girl had insulted him? Then she tried to use the Rinnegan on him. Where had Hinata learned those jutsus she used? And even more troubling was the look in Hinata's eyes when she had charged at him. It was a look of anger and hatred, but even more than that, there was an endless well of hurt in her eyes. Had he been the one to put that hurt there? Kami, what have I done? Thought Hayashi as he picked himself off the floor. He needed to talk to his oldest daughter. Not as Hayashi the clan head, but as Hayashi the father, something he hasn't been in too long. Hinata awoke with a major headache. What happened? Thought Hinata, then she remembered what happened. She remembered the meeting with her father, the spar with her sister, but most of all she remembered losing control. What have I done? Thought Hinata, regretting losing control of herself. How are you feeling? Asked Hayashi. Hinata froze, hearing her father's voice. How was she supposed to face him after what she did? Hayashi, taking her silence the wrong way, thought that Hinata was still angry at him, and so he did something he hasn't done since he was a child. He got on his hands and knees and bowed down with his head almost touching the floor. Forgive me, daughter, I have not been a good father to you. I shouldn't have pushed you so hard. But I was afraid that I would lose you the way I lost your mother, and your uncle, and my best friend. I know I hurt you and I am so sorry, said Hayashi, begging for his daughter's forgiveness. Hinata was in shock. Her father was begging. She had never seen her father show so much emotion before, not even when her mom passed away. It was because of the emotion in his voice, not just the words that he said, that allowed Hinata to finally let go of all the hurt. Feeling more free than she ever had, she did something she had wanted to do for a long time. She hugged her father. Hayashi was shocked. His daughter not only forgave him, but she was hugging him also. Quickly getting over the shock, Hayashi hugged Hinata back, as he promised her that things would change, that they would be better, that he would be better. Hayashi couldn't tell you later how long he and his daughter had hugged, but he could tell you that he felt like a father for the first time in a long time. Then he remembered some of the things he wanted to ask her, but he would not force her to tell him if she didn't want to. Hinata, how did you learn the Rinnegan and the Shadow Clone Jutsu, or the 32 palms for that matter? Asked Hayashi in a gentle voice. At this, Hinata looked down, remembering that she could no longer spend time with Naruto. But she would answer her father's question, if only so he would know just how good of a teacher Naruto was. Naruto helped me learn the 32 palms, but it was mostly me. As far as the Rinnegan and the Shadow Clone Jutsu, that was Naruto all the way. He wanted me to learn them in case I got in a situation where the Jukin couldn't help me, said Hinata. Alright, said Hayashi. Hinata looked confused, so Hayashi continued. Alright, I will allow you to spend time with the Uzumaki boy, under the condition that when he gets back from his mission he agrees to meet with me, said Hayashi, smiling at look on his daughter's face. Upon hearing what her father had said, Hayashi got his second hug of the day. Little did the two of them know, but someone had been listening from the other side of the door. Hanabi smiled. Her plan had worked. Granted, not in the way she had thought, but oh well. Leaving her sister and father alone, Hanabi made a mental note to talk to her sister later and apologize for what she had said about her sister's crush. End flashback. Hayashi sighed as he left his study. He had some questions for the Hokage, and he had a feeling the old man wasn't going to like them. Team 7 Wave Mission. As Naruto sat in the boat heading toward the island of Wave, he thought about last night, when he had told his team who his parents were. All things considered, they took it pretty well, if one classifies staring in blank shock, as if they hadn't known him for years, as taking it well. Naruto could handle the staring. Hell, he had more experience than most when it comes to being stared at. It was the questions afterward that bothered him. Flashback. I think I might have broke them, thought Naruto, as his teammates sat and stared at him. Surprisingly, it was Sakura who snapped out of it first, and once she did, Naruto immediately wished she hadn't. But I don't understand, Naruto, why is it a secret? Asked Sakura, not understanding why someone would want to hide something like that. It was actually Kakashi who answered her. Sakura, my sensei and his wife had a lot of enemies, and not just outside the village either. If it had been made public who Naruto's parents were, Naruto would have been lucky to make it past his first birthday, said Kakashi looking at his students. What I don't understand is why Naruto was treated so bad. It wasn't just a few people, it was the whole village. There had to have been people who knew who Naruto's parents were. Why didn't one of them take care of him? Asked Sasuke, making his voice known. There were a few of us, true, but we were all close to Naruto's parents. The Hokage, fearing that someone would put the pieces together, ordered us to maintain our distance. Your mother Sasuke, who was best friends with Kushina, tried unsuccessfully many times to adopt Naruto, said Kakashi, shocking both Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke was in shock hearing that Naruto's mother was best friends with his. It made him wonder if Naruto's mother would have survived. Would he and Naruto grow up as friends? Would they have played together? Would Naruto's parents have tried to adopt him as his mother had tried to do for Naruto? Naruto had known that his mother and Sasuke's had been friends. That wasn't what shocked him. Hearing that Sasuke's mother had tried to adopt him not only once but multiple times, however, did shock him. It made him feel a sudden warmth for the woman that he had never got to meet. He once again swore to do all he could for Sasuke. He would keep the promise he had made her via Shusui-sensei, no matter what. But that still doesn't explain why Naruto was treated so bad, said Sasuke, snapping out of his shock. Look, guy, let's just say I have a lot of secrets that I'm not ready to make known yet, but when I am, I will share them with the two of you. I promise, said Naruto. I'm going to hold you to that, dope, said Sasuke with a smirk, but for one, this smirk wasn't one of superiority. It actually looked friendly. You do that, bastard, said Naruto with a smile. Sakura just shook her head. Boys, she thought. End flashback. Wow, is that your bridge, Mr. Tazuna? Naruto heard Sakura ask. Yep, that's my masterpiece, said Tazuna. Looking over to see what all the fuss was about, Naruto had to admit it was a cool bridge. A few minutes later, and they pulled up to a dock. As they were getting off the boat, Tazuna spoke. Come on, I'll show you the way to my house, said Tazuna as the four shinobi followed him. About 15 minutes later, as they were walking by a lake, Naruto heard a whirling noise. At the same moment, Kakashi yelled, Get down! Naruto hit the ground, taking Tazuna with him as a huge sword passed over them and embedded itself in a tree. Naruto jumped back to his feet as Sasuke and Sakura went to either side of him, forming a human shield around Tazuna. Naruto looked at the sword and noticed a tall man with no shirt and bandages around his face. Kakashi of the Sharingan Eye, it's no wonder the demon brothers failed their mission, said the man to Kakashi. The demon of the hidden mist, Zabuza Momoc. To what do we owe this pleasure? Said Kakashi, laking his normal bored voice. Let's cut with the games, move aside and let me kill that old man and you can all go, said Zabuza, making the three genin tighten their formation around Tazuna. I'm afraid that's where we're going to have problems. You see, me and my team have sworn to protect this man, said Kakashi as he lifted his Hitai to reveal his Sharingan. Haha, the Sharingan, this is an honor, said Zabuza, chuckling evilly as he jumped off his sword and taking it out of the tree in one smooth motion. Landing on the water, Zabuza made a one-handed seal. The mist around them started to thicken, to the point it was almost impossible to see. Naruto pulled out Zanpakuto, but he could tell this man was a better swordsman than him, who only had a year of training with his sword, and judging from the man's size and the size of his blade, he far surpassed Naruto in strength as well. Which meant a sword fight with this man was not an option. If it came down to it, Naruto would just have to use his Rinnegan, and to hell with the consequences. But for now, he would let Kakashi handle it, and if he saw his opening, he would join in. Listen, this opponent is above any of you. His name is Zabuza Momoc. He was a former member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. Plus, he is a master of the silent killing technique. If you drop your guard for a second, you'll be dead before you even know that you slipped up, said Kakashi. The killing intent from this man was strong, Naruto would give him that, but it didn't come anywhere close to Izuna-sensei's. Sasuke, relax, I won't let my teammate die, that is absolute, said Kakashi. Naruto looked over at Sasuke only to see that he was about to stab himself in the heart with his kunai. He relaxed after Kakashi's little speech, at least until they heard what came next. 8 points on the human body that when stabbed cause instant death, came Zabuza's voice from the mist. What's that? Asked Sakura, frightened. Zabuza continued to speak. The head, the jugular vein, the heart, that at this point Naruto had enough. Sensei, brace yourself, yelled Naruto as he started going through hand signs. Kakashi had the sense to do just that. Using his chakra to stick to the ground, he heard Naruto exclaim. Wind style, great breakthrough! Yelled Naruto as he sent a large amount of wind outward, blowing away the mist. The two men were locked in combat as soon as the wind stopped. The fight that followed was in equal parts terrifying and comical. Seeing the might of the two Jounin clash was a sight to behold, even for Naruto, who had trained under some of the most powerful shinobi who ever lived. But that didn't hide the fact that essentially what the two men were doing was playing a deadly game of clone tag. Back and forth, Kakashi would kill Zabuza only for him to be a clone, and Zabuza would kill Kakashi only for Kakashi to be a clone. When the real Zabuza and Kakashi finally did clash, things went downhill quick. Kakashi had been forced to jump into the water to avoid getting his head chopped off, but that turned out to be a trap. As soon as Kakashi surfaced, Zabuza had him in the water prison jutsu, which led them to the current situation. Naruto had to find a way to free Kakashi-sensei. Damn, he thought to himself, if only he had just used his Rinnegan at the beginning. Now it was all but too late. The real Zabuza was right next to Kakashi-sensei, and most of the Rinnegan's best attacks were wide-area attacks, so he could just as easily hurt Kakashi-sensei as Zabuza. Naruto was sure he could take out that water clone, but did Zabuza have more hidden? No, what he really needed was a way to get around that water clone and right on top of Zabuza. Naruto had an idea hit him like Sakura used to. "You guys get out of here. Take Tazuna and run," said Kakashi, cursing himself for getting trapped. "We're not going to run and leave you behind, sensei. We're not trash," said Naruto with fire in his voice. Getting nods from Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi was proud of his team, but would it kill them to do as they were told just this once? Wait, don't answer that. "Well, would you look at that, it looks like the blonde wannabe swordsman wants to play ninja," said Zabuza, looking amused. That was at least until he saw the blonde boy form a ball of spinning chakra in his hand. Zabuza had to marvel at the power he could feel in the technique, but he still wasn't afraid. "Nice jutsu, kid, too bad you'll be dead before you can reach me with it," said Zabuza arrogantly. "I wouldn't bet on that, you eyebrow-less freak," yelled Naruto, causing Zabuza's eye to twitch. Sasuke and Sakura were wondering just what Naruto had planned when Naruto clued them in when he next spoke. "Hey Sasuke, you remember that gift I gave you and Sakura last night?" asked Naruto, causing Sasuke to smirk. Pulling out the tri-pronged kunai he had gotten from Naruto the night before, Sasuke lined up his shot, so it would look like he was aiming for the clone, and threw the kunai with a precision only allowed to those with a Sharingan. The clone, thinking that the kunai was meant to take him out, jumped out the way, only to notice too late that he was not the target. The real Zabuza was. Zabuza noticed the same thing his clone had. "Ha! You think a silly kunai will work on me?" yelled Zabuza as he caught the kunai. If he could have seen Kakashi's face, he would have seen a smirk. Instead, all he saw was the blonde appear right in front of him. Zabuza had no time to dodge as the boy hit him with the spinning blue ball. "Rinnegan!" yelled Naruto as he shoved his jutsu into Zabuza's stomach. Zabuza was sent spinning with great force into a tree. "Good job, Naruto," said Kakashi as he emerged from the water, making note that Naruto also knew how to water walk. "You should thank Sasuke. If it hadn't been for his quick thinking in making that clone think he was the target, that clone would have taken the blow for Zabuza and ruined my one chance to catch Zabuza off guard," said Naruto. Before Kakashi could respond, they heard Zabuza groan. Naruto knew that he was tough, but to still be conscious after that was amazing. Kakashi pulled out a kunai and started to walk towards Zabuza to finish him off. "I see your future, Zabuza, and it's death," said Kakashi, about to cut Zabuza's throat. "Screw you, Kakashi," said Zabuza, his teeth gritted in pain. Out of nowhere two Saban struck Zabuza in the neck. Zabuza fell limp and lifeless. "I guess you were right, his future really was death," said a voice from the trees. "What happened?" thought Kakashi with a groan, as he awoke in a strange house. "I see you're awake, sensei," said a voice to Kakashi's right. Kakashi turned his head toward the voice, and saw his 3 students all looking at him. It was then he remembered what happened. He had been about to kill Zabuza when a hunter Nin had beat him to the punch. The hunter Nin, after exchanging a few words with him and his team, had left with Zabuza's body to dispose of it. Kakashi figured he must have passed out from overusing his Sharingan. Suddenly a thought hit Kakashi with all the force of a hurricane. "Wait a minute, why would that hunter Nin take Zabuza's body? I thought hunter Nins always destroy the bodies on the..." "Shit!" Kakashi cursed out loud, scaring his team. "What is it, sensei? Are you okay?" asked Sakura, who had been the one who spoke earlier. "Zabuza's alive," said Kakashi, stunning all 3 genin plus his client. "What do you mean, Kakashi-sensei? You checked Zabuza's heartbeat yourself, how can he still be alive?" asked Sakura, thinking her sensei was losing it. Sakura Hunter Neens disposed of a missing Neen's body on the spot, but this one didn't. Plus, and I can't believe I didn't notice this when it happened. The fake Hunter Neen used Saban to take down Zabuza, and while Saban can be deadly, you would have to hit someone in just the right spot, and those spots aren't where Zabuza was hit. No, Sakura, what we saw was just a death-like state that you can put someone in by hitting the right pressure points. I think it's safe to say we were duped, said Kakashi. Kakashi looked at the reactions of his genin. Sasuke looked pensive and thoughtful, Sakura looked frightened but determined, but Naruto, he just looked excited. He probably just wants another shot at Zabuza, thought Kakashi. So what are we going to do, sensei? Asked Sakura. My guess is we got about a week and a half to 2 weeks before Zabuza is ready to attack again, more than likely 2, given that Rinnegan Naruto hit him with. Naruto, I want at least 5 or 10 clones guarding this house, said Kakashi. Already on it, sensei, said Naruto. Good job. Alright, when you're not guarding Tazuna, I want you training. It will be a day or 2 before I'm up and running. Until then, Naruto, you're in charge. Before Kakashi could finish, he was interrupted. Sensei, why Naruto? Why not put Sasuke in charge? Asked Sakura. Cha. Sasuke would be a way better leader than Naruto, thought inner Sakura. A month ago, Sasuke would have wanted to know the same thing, but ever since the Genin exams, he had noticed that there was a lot of things they didn't know about Naruto. Like who his parents had been, for one, and Sasuke suspected there was something else Naruto was not telling them. So Sasuke decided to see what Kakashi said before he got mad about it. Naruto, would you go get me a glass of water? I'm quite thirsty, asked Kakashi, looking at Naruto. Naruto knew that Kakashi just wanted him out of the room, but acquiesced anyway. Once Naruto was out of the room, Kakashi turned to look at Sakura with a hardened look in his eye. Sakura, you need to let go of any preconceived notions you have about Naruto. The Naruto you thought you knew in the academy does not exist. You might find this hard to believe, but in some ways Naruto is even more powerful than me. Kakashi was once again interrupted. Here is your water, sensei, said Naruto, walking back into the room. Thank you, Naruto. As I was saying, Naruto is in charge while I'm stuck in bed. Judging from the fact that I saw you standing on water, I take it you know how to tree walk, Naruto, said Kakashi, making Sasuke and Sakura wonder what tree walking is. Yes, sensei, I know how to tree walk, answered Naruto. Good, I would like you to teach it to the others, Naruto. Also, while we are all here, I would like you to— What's that? Exclaimed Kakashi, pointing behind his genin, causing the 3 of them to turn around with kunai drawn. What is it? Asked Naruto. I don't see anything, said Sakura. RGRR, growled Sasuke. Oh, sorry, must just be seeing things, said Kakashi innocently. Turning back around, they saw Kakashi's glass was empty, and Tazuna's daughter Tsunami, who had walked in to see what the commotion was, had hearts in her eyes. All 3 genin wanted to face palm. They had all wanted to know what their sensei looked like under that mask. Okay, Naruto, you know what to do, so I'm going back to sleep. Wake me if anything changes, said Kakashi, laying back down. Yes, sensei, said Naruto, secretly thinking his sensei was just being lazy, making him do it. Alright, you guys heard the sensei, let's go, said Naruto to his teammates. I don't know why you people are trying so hard, you're just going to die, said a voice belonging to a little boy. Inari, don't be rude, these ninja are here to protect your grandfather, said Tsunami to her son. But don't you see, Mom? They'll die if they go against Gato, just like him, said the boy as he left the room. Inari, where are you going? Asked Tsunami. To stare out at the ocean. I just want to be alone, said Inari as he ran out of the room. A little while later saw Naruto and his teammates in the woods. Alright, tree walking involves focusing your chakra to the soles of your feet. Now the soles of the feet are one of the hardest places to focus your chakra. Sakura interrupted before Naruto could finish. I still don't see why Kakashi-sensei left you in charge, Naruto. I mean, I can see that you've changed, but there is still no way you're better than Sasuke, said Sakura in full-blown fangirl mode. Naruto sighed. He should have known this was coming. Looking from Sakura to Sasuke, he could tell the Uchiha wasn't really happy to be taking orders from him as well. Though oddly enough, Sasuke didn't seem angry, just confused, as if he couldn't figure out something. Though what Sasuke was trying to figure out was a mystery to Naruto. Sasuke was confused. What was it about the dobe that made him change so much in such a short amount of time? Was it finding out who his parents were, or is there something else that Naruto was not telling them? What made this situation worse was the fact that Sasuke was sure that Naruto was not faking being the dead last in the academy. Add that to Sasuke's wounded pride over not being chosen as team leader, and you get a really confused Sasuke. Naruto thought that he needed to get this under control quickly. Coming up with a plan, Naruto spoke. Alright, I'll tell you what, how about the two of you attack me at the same time? And if one of you is able to land a hit on me, then my first official act as team leader will be to relinquish command to Sasuke. But if you cannot beat me, then you two have to follow my orders. Sound fair to you? Naruto asked his team. Sounds good to me, said Sakura. Cha! We'll pound Naruto into oblivion, then Sasuke will fall in love with us for sure, thought inner Sakura. HN, said Sasuke with a smirk. He thought this would be a good way to test his strength against Naruto. Alright, let's go wild, said Naruto as he got into a taijutsu stance, while at the same time releasing half the weight on his seals. Sakura was the first to charge him. She had her fist cocked back, about to hit him with a haymaker punch, wanting to end it quickly. Dodging to the side, Naruto hit her with 2 fingers in the vagus nerve, dropping her like a sack of bricks. And that is what happens when you underestimate your opponent. Pretty pathetic if you asked me. I hope you don't make the same mistake, said Naruto as he looked at Sasuke. Sasuke growled under his breath. Don't put me in the same category as that fangirl, said Sasuke, as he activated his Sharingan. Ah, the Sharingan, but I see that you only have 2 tomo in each eye. That means that while you can track my movements, you cannot predict them, said Naruto as he blocked a high kick from Sasuke. How do you know so much about the Sharingan? And for that matter, how have you become so strong in just over a month? I know you were not faking being the dead last. You went from being short, weak, and foolish, to being smart, strong, and taller than me in just a few days. What are you hiding? Yelled Sasuke as he twisted in the air to try to land a kick on Naruto's thigh, only to have Naruto catch his leg and throw him to the side. My secrets are my own, Uchiha, and I feel no compunction to share them with you. If you wish to know my secrets, then I need to be able to trust you, not just as a teammate, but as a friend, said Naruto as he ran at Sasuke. Sasuke put up his guard, only to have Naruto drop to the ground in a slide, going under Sasuke's guard to plant a kick to his chin, in a move that Naruto had witnessed a boy dressed in a hideous green outfit use. Naruto's kick sent Sasuke flying into the air, only to have Naruto appear above him, delivering a hard kick to the head that sent him hurtling back to the ground and into unconsciousness. A little while later, Sasuke and Sakura awoke to find themselves tied to a tree. Ah, good, it's about time the two of you woke up, said Naruto looking at his teammates. Naruto, untie us right this minute, screeched Sakura. Let me think about that for a second. No, I don't think I will untie you, at least not until you listen to me for a minute, said Naruto, glaring at Sakura and releasing a bit of bloodlust aimed at said girl. Sakura fell silent and started to sweat. It felt like she was being suffocated. Sakura, you have seen repeated examples of how much I've changed in the last month, and yet you still thought a blind punch would be enough to take me down. You don't really train on your off time, you don't try to improve yourself. Hell, you're 12 years old, and on a diet. At this point, Naruto was right next to Sakura's head, whispering so only she would hear. I know you want Sasuke to notice you, Sakura, but why don't you try the one thing you haven't tried yet, getting stronger? Whispered Naruto, making Sakura's eyes go wide. Next, Naruto was speaking to Sasuke. And you, Sasuke, asked me to trust you with my secrets, but you do nothing to gain that trust. I have offered after every mission to go get lunch as a team. I even offered to pay, and yet not once have either of you accepted. I shared with you who my parents were in the hope of building some trust. Have you returned that trust? No. You haven't. You said when we were introducing ourselves to Kakashi that your ambition is to kill a certain man. But you haven't shared who he is, or why you want to kill him. Has it ever occurred to you that the rest of the team might help you if you would just open up to us? Said Naruto to Sasuke, making Sasuke bow his head. In truth, it had not occurred to him. Killing his brother had always seemed like something he had to do on his own, but why? Why not ask for help? Sasuke knew the answer to that before he even thought about it, because his pride wouldn't let him. Alright, I'm going to untie you now, remember our deal, I won so you two follow my orders, said Naruto, cutting the other two loose. After that, Sakura and Sasuke set out to try and climb the tree. Sakura, it would seem, had great chakra control as she made it up the tree in no time at all, so Naruto had her walking up and down the tree repeatedly to increase her chakra reserves. Sasuke, on the other hand, was having a lot more trouble controlling his chakra. Gra! Why can't I do this? Said Sasuke, frustrated that he was having trouble with something that both Sakura and Naruto could do easily. The Naruto clone watching them, the real Naruto having left to guard Tazuna, sighed. Feeling a little sorry for Sasuke, decided to help him. "Hey Sasuke, come here for a second," said the clone. Sasuke grumbled but complied with his team leader's command. "What?" Sasuke snapped. "Easy, I'm just going to show you a shortcut," said the clone. "What kind of shortcut?" asked Sasuke, looking at the clone. "Okay, first thing thought, need to calm down. If you relax you will find this easier. The second thing, turn on your Sharingan," said the clone. "What does my Sharingan have to do with anything?" asked Sasuke, not catching on. While not on the same level as the Byakugan, the Sharingan allows the user to see chakra. So all you have to do is look at Sakura, see how much chakra she is using, adjust the amount to fit your size and weight, and that's half the battle over with. Then all you have to do is work on it, till you can hold it without losing your concentration," said the clone. Sasuke smirked. That might actually work. After doing what the clone said, Sasuke made another run up the tree, this time making it over halfway up before losing his hold on the tree. "See, you're already halfway there. If you ain't mastered it by tonight, you'll have it by tomorrow for sure," said the clone. Meanwhile, the real Naruto was at the bridge with Tazuna. Naruto was keeping an eye out for trouble when he saw a worker approach Tazuna. "Hey Tazuna, can I speak to you for a moment?" asked the worker. "Go ahead Jichi, what is it?" asked Tazuna. The man Jichi looked down almost like he was ashamed of something. "Tazuna, you and I have been friends a long time, but I don't think I can continue working on this bridge. We have been pushing our luck as it is. If we keep going, Gato will send his thugs, then we'll all be killed," said Jichi. "So that's it? You're just going to quit on me now? After we've come so far?" asked Tazuna heatedly. Tazuna tried to understand. "I only stayed this long because of our friendship. But I got to think about my wife, who would look after Agari if I die." "I'm sorry, Tazuna," said Jichi. "No, I'm sorry, Jichi. Sorry that you can't see how important this bridge is. Our country is poor, and it will stay that way unless this bridge is finished. Commerce, trade, and hope, that's what we're building here," said Tazuna passionately, trying to make his friend understand. "Tazuna, there ain't going to be much hope if we're all dead," said Jichi. Naruto had noticed that a lot of the workers were listening in on the conversation between the two men, and that Jichi wanting to quit was having an effect on the group's morale. "I've got to do something, or Tazuna going to be building this bridge himself," thought Naruto. "Tazuna's right, this bridge is your country's only hope. If you quit, Gato will win. You can't let someone scare you. If you don't make a stand, it's not just you that will suffer, your kids and your grandkids will all suffer the consequences of your cowardice," said Naruto loudly so everyone would hear him. "And what would you know, kid? You aren't even from here," said Jichi. "I know that if you run from a bully, you will keep having to run. Look, I'm a shinobi. If Gato or his men show up, I'll make sure none of you get hurt," said Naruto at the man Jichi. "And how are you going to do that? You're just one kid and Gato will bring an army," said Jichi. Naruto started to laugh. This man had just given him a great idea. "Yeah, well, the thing about me is, anyone who fights me will always fight an army," said Naruto, making a cross seal with his hands. "Multiple shadow clone jutsu," called out Naruto, making 100 clones of himself. Tazuna and his workers stared wide-eyed at the huge number of Narutos now on the bridge. "Would you look at that? There has got to be at least 100 of them," said a worker. "With that many to guard us, there's no way Gato could get to us," said another. Tazuna started to chuckle, which soon turned into full-blown laughter. After calming down, he looked at his friend. "Well, what do you think now, Jichi? Is it still so hopeless?" asked Tazuna. Well, I stuttered Jichi, shaking his head to clear it. He tried again. "All right, Tazuna, I'll stay on," said Jichi. "I hope you know what you're doing, kid. Our lives are now dependent on you," said Jichi as he looked at Naruto. "Oh, don't worry about that, Jichi. I saw this kid fight firsthand. He's really that good," said Tazuna. Naruto turned to his clones and began to give them orders. "All right, I want 10 of you to guard the perimeter. The rest of you go to Tazuna and see where he wants you," said Naruto to a resounding chorus of "Yes, sir, boss" from his clones. "All right, Tazuna, here's you some free laborers for the day. Just tell them what to do," said Naruto to Tazuna, once again shocking the man. "Is this kid for real? Not only is he going to guard me, but my whole workforce as well, and he is also willing to help build this bridge. Thought Tazuna, now truly regretting what he had said about Naruto back in Konoha, and not just because the kid scared the shit out of him. A few hours later saw Naruto and Tazuna walking through the village on the way to the market. Naruto was appalled at the state of the village and its people. It was like Gato was sucking the life right out this place. As they walked into the food market, Naruto noticed there was hardly any food in the place. Turning to Tazuna, he asked the man. "Hey Tazuna, are all the markets like this?" asked Naruto. Sadly yes, ever since Gato took over all the trade routes, he charges the shopkeepers more than they can afford for produce and wares, and since they cannot afford to get much, they don't make a lot of money, so the next time they go to get supplies they can afford even less than the last time," said Tazuna with anger in his voice. As they were leaving the shop, Naruto felt a tug on his jacket. Turning around, what he saw broke his heart. It was a boy no older than 6 with his hands out in a pleading manner. He was begging for something to eat, Naruto realized. Reaching into his pocket, Naruto pulled out the only thing edible he had on him, a box of Pocky, and handed it to the boy. The boy gave Naruto such a sad, heartfelt smile that Naruto knew he couldn't stand back and watch this country starve. As the boy ran off, Naruto turned to Tazuna with a look in his eyes that made Tazuna take a step back. "That's it, that is it. Mr. Tazuna, round up every able-bodied man you can find and meet me in that clearing in the woods about a half-mile away. Do you know which one I'm talking about?" asked Naruto. "Yeah, I know the clearing you're talking about, but what is this about, kid?" asked Tazuna, wondering what was going on in Naruto's head. "Don't worry about it, just please find as many men who are willing to come. I'm going to leave a clone to guard you while I'm gone," said Naruto as a clone puffed into existence beside him. Naruto's body flickered to the clearing. Naruto looked around the clearing. It was big enough for what he had planned, and hopefully by doing this here, he wouldn't draw notice of Gato's thugs. He didn't want the town people to pay for what he was about to do. Naruto took a deep breath. He had never used this jutsu on such a large scale before. Naruto knew he was going to need a little help. So closing his eyes, Naruto decided to pay a visit to an old friend. When Naruto opened his eyes, he was in a sewer-like room. "Hey Kurama! Wake up!" yelled Naruto to get the fox's attention. "What is it, Kit? I was having a really good dream," said Kurama, annoyed. "I need some of your chakra. I'm about to use that jutsu," said Naruto to the fox. "What are you making this time? More kunai?" asked Kurama. "No, nothing quite so trivial. The village we're in is in some bad need for food," said Naruto. "Alright, I'll help you this time, but next time you wake me from a dream, your life better be in danger or it will be," said the fox grumpily. I know, said Naruto placating manner, before exiting his subconscious. Naruto felt Kurama's chakra running through him. Splitting the chakra into its yin and yang form, he activated his Rinnegan. Naruto knew by using this jutsu he was really showing his hand, but he couldn't just stand back and do nothing. Creation of all things is a jutsu that makes imagination real. So Naruto imagined the clearing full of crates, and in the crates was food of all kinds: rice, pork, beef, fish, vegetables, fruits, and bread. Holding that vision in his head, Naruto used Kurama's yin chakra to give form to his vision, then using Kurama's yang chakra he gave life to it. Opening his eyes, Naruto saw that it had worked. All in the clearing were box upon box of food. Deactivating his Rinnegan, Naruto let out a sigh. That jutsu really took it out of you. It was about that time Naruto heard Tazuna enter the clearing. "Holy crap! Look at all this," said Tazuna. Turning around, Naruto saw Tazuna and what looked like 20 men, all staring at him like he had grown a second head. Cheeking to make sure he hadn't. With that jutsu, you can never be too sure. One slip of the imagination and you're doomed. Thankful when all he saw was his shoulders, he spoke to the stunned crowd. "Alright everyone, what I need you guys to do is start passing out this food to families. Families with children get first dibs, but there should be enough for everyone. Alright, let's feed this island," said Naruto. "I can't believe it, look at all this food," said a villager. "How do you think he got it?" asked another. "Who cares how he got it? There's enough food here to feed everyone on the island for a week," said Jichi, who Naruto just now noticed. "You heard the man. Start getting people to this food. And for Kami's sake, try to keep it quick. We don't want Gato getting wind of this," said Tazuna, taking charge. And so began an all-night operation to feed the people of Wave. The more food they passed out, the more men joined to pass out the rest. Naruto was unaware that by time he would fall asleep that night, his name would be mentioned in houses all over Wave. Indeed, it would seem that Wave was getting another hero to believe in. Later that night around the dinner table, Tsunami and Tazuna seemed in high spirits. Naruto guessed it had been a while since they had a full fridge. Naruto had somehow gotten into a eating contest with Sasuke, and now both of them were paying the price, as both were now green in the face. Sakura, however, was deep in thought. She had been soundly humiliated today when Naruto had taken her out with a simple tap to the side of her neck, and his words to her afterwards had been like salt in an open wound. But as much as she wished she could deny them, every word Naruto had spoken to her had been true. But it had been something Sasuke had said later, as they were making their way back to the house, that had struck her the most. Flashback. Sakura and Sasuke were walking back to Tazuna's house, the Naruto clone having already dispelled itself. Sasuke had a smirk on his face, having mastered the tree walking exercise. Sakura, seeing how happy her crush seemed, and how Naruto was nowhere to be found, thought it might be a good time to ask him out. "Hey Sasuke, I was thinking when we get back to Konoha, we might can go on a date maybe?" asked Sakura hopefully. Looking at Sasuke, she saw his smirk turn into a scowl, dashing her hopes before he even said anything. "Listen Sakura, I don't want to hurt you, but you need to hear this. I'm not really looking for a girlfriend right now. And even if I was, it wouldn't be a fangirl who can't even come up with her own opinion about things. You always agree with me no matter what, and I know you think that's attractive, but it's really not. It makes you seem like you don't have a brain of your own," said Sasuke, not even looking at Sakura. If he had, he would have seen the tears starting to form in her eyes. Sasuke continued to speak, unaware of just how much his words were hurting the girl he was speaking to. "I don't know if you know this or not, Sakura, but I'm going to have to rebuild my clan one day. The girl I choose to be with has to be strong, and quite frankly Sakura, you're weak. You're the weakest member of this team. You need to stop focusing on me and start focusing on your training, or you're going to get yourself raped or killed one day, maybe even both," finished Sasuke as he walked away. He really didn't want to hurt her, but he was afraid that she would get herself killed one day, and Sasuke had seen enough people he cared for die. As he left, Sakura stood where she had stood during Sasuke's whole speech. After what seemed like hours but in truth was only about 30 minutes, Sakura pulled herself together and headed back to the house. End flashback. "Am I really that weak?" thought Sakura to herself. But she already knew the answer to that. In the hope of escaping her thoughts, Sakura decided to ask about something she had noticed. "Excuse me, but I couldn't help noticing that there is a corner of this picture missing. Inari, you kept looking at it all through dinner. It looks like someone used to be in it," said Sakura, not noticing the family tense at her words. "It's my husband," said Tsunami softly after a minute of silence. "They used to call him a hero in this land," said Tazuna. Inari got up and ran from the room. "Inari, where are you going?" asked Tsunami as she went after her son. "Father, you can't talk about him like that in front of Inari, you know that," said Tsunami as she left the room. "Inari, so I mean what happened to him?" asked Sakura, shocked by the reaction her question had gotten. Is there a story behind this?" asked Kakashi. Naruto looked toward Tazuna and was shocked to see tears in the man's eyes. Tazuna then told them the story of Inari's stepfather Kaiza, a man who had saved Inari from drowning, how Inari had looked to him as a father figure. How later he would become Inari's stepfather. How the man had saved the village from a flood, and was looked at as a hero of Wave from that moment on. Tazuna told them of the tragic fate of Kaiza, how when Gato first came, Kaiza stood up to him, and paid the ultimate price for it. During the story, Naruto was lost in thought. It saddened him that he had a reincarnation jutsu, but could not use it to bring back Kaiza. Sasara of Heavenly Life would kill the user if the person or persons you were trying to bring back had been dead for longer than a few days. While Naruto had thought of a way around that fact, he had yet to work on it. You see, Naruto figured that if a shadow clone were to use Sasara of Heavenly Life instead of him, then he would be alright. The problem with that is that a shadow clone would not have the chakra to use the jutsu, only having half of Naruto's chakra, and Naruto at this point had not figured out how to give his shadow clones more chakra without overloading the jutsu, and causing it to fail just like his regular clones back in the academy. But it's not like it's impossible to do, I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. Well, not like I ever let something like that stop me before, thought Naruto as he got up from the table. Naruto, where are you going? Asked Sakura. To go train. I'm going to show Inari that our heroes never truly die, said Naruto as he left the house. What do you think that is about, sensei? Asked Sakura. Knowing Naruto, there's no telling, said Kakashi in his trademark lazy voice. Break. Haku was out gathering herbs, to make some medicine for Zabuza, when she came upon a strange sight. It was a boy no older than herself. He had blonde hair, and was wearing black pants, a black jacket with yellow and red strips running along the sleeves, and a mesh body armor undershirt. Haku recognized him as the boy who had fought Zabuza. Haku's thought was to kill the boy while he slept. The problem with that is, Haku was never that cold. So instead she decided to wake him up and see if she could learn anything useful from him. Slowly reaching for the boy, she was about to shake him when she found herself pinned to the ground with a kunai at her neck. "Easy, I mean you no harm," said Haku, gently, hoping to placate the boy. "Sorry, but you shouldn't sneak up on a ninja, even a sleeping one," said Naruto as he let Haku go. "My name is Naruto," said Naruto as he helped Haku up. "It's nice to meet you, Naruto. I'm Haku. If you don't mind me asking, what are you doing sleeping in the woods?" asked Haku. "Yeah, I must have passed out from training too hard, really not my brightest moment," said Naruto, scratching the back of his head. Haku laughed. She thought his boy was funny. "Why are you training so hard? You seem plenty strong to me," asked Haku, which was not a lie. She remembered well how this boy had taken down Zabuza. "Few reasons, really. I guess it's mostly to protect the ones I care about. You see, my life growing up was a hard one. My mother and father died when I was young, and the villagers blamed me for their deaths, so I grew up alone and outcasted. The only one who was ever really kind to me, was the leader of our village, the Hokage, so I decided to be a shinobi just like him. As time went on, I found a few more people who cared about me, like Irika-sensei, my best friend Hinata, and the people who run the Ichiraku ramen stand," said Naruto. Haku was shocked that his childhood had been almost as bad as her own, but was happy that, like her, he too had found someone to care for him. She listened as Naruto continued speaking. "I guess they're the reasons I want to become stronger, so I can protect them and keep them safe. That, and I made a promise to someone, and I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way. I honestly don't know why I'm even telling you all this, except there is something about you that tells me you above all others would understand," finished Naruto. "You're right, I do understand. I have always believed that when a person has something important they want to protect, that's when they can become truly strong," said Haku, smiling. Naruto got up and stretched, here a few joints pop. "Well, it was nice meeting you, miss," said Naruto. "You too. Oh, by the way, I'm a boy," said Haku, hoping to throw Naruto off. "Nice try, but you can't fool the nose, boys don't ovulate," said Naruto, tapping his nose. Haku blushed bright red. "Don't worry, I'm not a pervert, I just have a really good nose. Oh yeah, tell Zabuza I said hi," said Naruto, right before he hurried back to Tazuna's house. 3 Saban needles hit the spot where he was standing a few seconds too late. How did he know? I need to get back to Zabuza, thought Haku as she disappeared in a whirl of snow. 8 days later. Naruto came stumbling in right at supper time, looking like death warmed over, but he had a triumphant smile on his face. "I've done it," said Naruto, before falling flat on his face. Sasuke and Sakura got up to help Naruto to the table. "What have you done, Naruto?" asked Sakura as she sat back down at the table. In her hand was a book titled So You Want to Be a Medic Nin, by Tsunade Senju. Naruto had given it to her when she had swallowed her pride and asked for his help. Mini flashback. "Hey Naruto, can I ask you something?" asked Sakura, as she, Naruto, and Sasuke were guarding Tazuna. "Sure, Sakura, what is it?" answered Naruto, shocked. Sakura hadn't spoken to him much since the fight for who was going to be team leader. "Well, you see, I just wanted to ask you, how do I become stronger?" blurted out Sakura in a rush too fast for Naruto to catch. "Whoa! Slow down, Sakura, I didn't catch that," said Naruto with both hands up waving. "I said, how do I become stronger? You were right when you said that I wasn't even trying to improve myself," said Sakura with her head down. Naruto was almost at a loss for words. That couldn't have been easy for Sakura to admit. "It's just I really do want to be a useful member of this team," said Sakura. She had come to the decision that Naruto and Sasuke had been right. She really did need to get her head out of the clouds and start taking her training serious. "Well, have you ever thought about becoming a medic?" asked Naruto. "No. Why?" asked Sakura. "ZZ.